This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Sid Vicious from Tonberry, Dakar Turleon from Siren, Theron Kadeen from Hyperion. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. And by Alamo City Comic-Con, October 28th through the 30th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center in sunny San Antonio, Texas. Alamo City Comic-Con celebrates the artists that entertain us through TV, movies, comics, gaming, and cosplay. For more info, including badge prices, celebrity guests, hotel accommodations, and more, visit AlamoCityComicCon.com.
Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break with your hosts, Aniero.
I'm the closest thing to God you shits have got.
Kallo.
Well, I for one can't wait to get started.
Juxtaposition.
Everyone has bad memories of me.
Ascalia.
It's like fine cognac with a hint of aged scrotum.
And Nika.
Is that supposed to be funny?
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode number 64. And this is this is a significant episode for us because it is exactly 64 episodes that we produced the entire time that the 11 version of the show ran. And we've made that many episodes in like half the time, a quarter of the time. And I think that's
go us.
That's crazy impressive.
And also, this is going to be our first venture into the 3D platforming world, and we're going to jump into paintings to access the stages from the hub world.
Okay, that's a Record Keeper reference, but I'm not sure why.
That was a Super Mario 64 reference.
Yes, there it is.
Okay.
Damn, dude.
Don't worry. In 5 episodes, there's going to be all kinds of awesome references going on.
Maybe you're off like finger blasting somebody.
In 5 episodes, that's happening.
So welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us live here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. Of course, we are also live from Eorzea. Let's kick it over to our Eorzean studios.
Crap, I'm not there.
Oh, no.
What a surprise.
What a shocker.
You know what is a shocker? I'm not there.
Well, because you're
That is
dumb.
a surprise.
Yeah,
You're dumb.
stupid.
You're stupid.
I actually
It's
just
all
totally
bad.
forgot. I was trying to deal with some crap like on the internet, some stupid buying
guys,
stuff.
she was dealing with crap on the internet.
I was.
Okay.
Did you officially get your SJW license? Is that what's going on?
No.
Are you writing injustices around the web?
That
Anyway,
would be kind of cool, actually.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining us. If you'd like to join us live in Eorzea, you can do so if you have a character on the Sargentanis server. We are
Words.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
I'm done.
Kooky, you don't get my chair. Get out of there.
Show's over, guys.
You
I'm
have
going
your
home.
own chair.
If you'd like to join us, we have a free company house where the studio is located. That's in the Goblet Plot 30 in the 5th Ward. So join us if you like, be a part of our live studio audience. But if you're just joining us on Twitch, we thank you as well. If you'd like to give us a call, of course you can do that. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. And now on Discord at limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Now we're going to be talking about Live Letter 30 that just went down early this morning.
Excuse me, please call it as it is. A live letter.
Live Letter Triple X. Yeah, Live Letter XXX, which I don't know why they decided to have it on Saturday night, Sunday morning this time, but boy, did that fuck us all in the ass. I think some of us are...
Triple X!
No.
I'm coming!
Special guest spot by Vin Diesel.
I guess I walked right into that one. But anyway, yeah.
Well, you sat right on that one.
Oh. Is it all right with you if I touch your penis?
Really? So yeah, it was weird timing for us. We're still trying to make full sense of everything that was discussed at Live Letter 30, and usually we have a day to at least digest it and really look over everything and form opinions on this. But this is all going to be fresh right off the dome.
You're getting it raw.
Yeah, but we'd like to hear from you.
Just the tip.
We'd like to hear from you. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715 or limitbreakradio.com/Discord. We've got Kooky Persona hanging out and screening calls for us. And if you want to give the show a call, we would invite you to do that. We want to hear all your opinions on Live Letter XXX. But before we start... Oh...
Recently, new listener, Filthy FF14 Casual here. Thank you guys for keeping me entertained at work and almost sane. Hoping to become a Patreon soon. Also, sorry, hashtag Camp Juxta.
Oh, wow.
Camp Juxta reference.
That's a late donation, but thank you,
Megan Rose.
Yes.
Does that still count?
No.
I think it does.
Can we call them Patreons from now on, by the way?
Just kick a guy while he's down. I mean, it's like 3 months afterwards, and you got to just rub... You got to rub salt in the wound? Come on, really? So we want to remind you, by the way, that we've done a bit of adjusting on some of our RSS feeds. If you want to subscribe to all of the shows that we make here, that includes Limit Break Radio, Final Encounter Cast, and Refresh, you can do that by finding the LBR Podcast Network feed, and that subscribes to everything. If you just want the FF14 show, you can find that by looking for Limit Break Radio on the iTunes directory, and also now on Google Play. All of our feeds are available over on Google Play. That includes the Final Encounter Cast feed and the Refresh feed. So if you want to subscribe to any number of those, whatever you want, you can you can get the content tailor-made for what you want in your podcast feed. And we would invite you to leave some reviews. Like we haven't had a iTunes review here in a while. We had a couple of them, and they were pretty negative, which was pretty funny.
So we deleted them.
No, you can't do that.
We didn't delete them.
No,
we downvoted them.
You can't do that either.
They're just there, I guess.
Yeah, they are there. You can see them if you want. But the thing is that, we don't ask for positive reviews. If you just have an opinion about this show, head to iTunes. And I think Google Play actually does podcast reviews as well. So now that we're available there as well, make sure to leave us a review, and we'll read it eventually on the show when we collect enough of them.
All three of you.
By the way, Final Encounter Cast has 0 reviews. Oh. So if you would like to be the first pop our review cherry, come on, head on over to iTunes, do that, and
be
also
gentle.
Google Play.
I love flaming lamers.
So an update on our Patreon t-shirts. We'd like to thank all of our generous Patreon donors for their support. T-shirts have been handed over to Papa Woody. What's the status here, Woody?
They're going out this week.
There you go. All right.
They are going out.
They are headed out. We can't wait to see you guys in these t-shirts, guys. Make sure you post them to Twitter. We'll retweet them, and we're trying to get those sent out as soon as possible. There's a lot of them. There's like 35 t-shirts there. So
and they look really, really awesome, especially on the floor of your spouse's bedroom.
Ooh, yeah. Sexy.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/limitbreakradio. The last time I checked, and I haven't checked in a second, but the last time I checked, we were sitting at 1,944 in terms of our donation, which is, 2,000 was our goal to make Final Encounter Cast weekly. And we'll talk about this a little bit more on Final Encounter Cast, but we've got to keep it up at the 2,000 mark, or else we're going to have to make some programming adjustments
and fire Papa.
No, we're not going to have to fire Papa, but
we will fire Skuro.
Yes, we will. We will fire. We can fire Skuro anytime.
You're fired, Skuro.
Right now, in fact, you're fired.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your hard work today. You're fired.
Wait, what? He did work?
Yeah, he did some work. A little bit.
It wasn't hard though.
A little bit. Pequeño.
Un pequeño. Ensalada.
So if you're a new listener to the show like Megan, or if you've been a long-time listener and you listen to the show all the time, now is the time to pledge your support. While we love seeing people come in at like the $100 level, like that's really exciting, we also know that that's not really sustainable. for most people. So what we would ask, if you're going to donate on Patreon, is that you give at a level that you know is going to be sustainable month over month.
It's not going to put you in the poorhouse.
Right, exactly. And if you want to donate at a certain level to get a T-shirt or a keychain or whatever, do that, and then draw it to a normal to wherever you think is sustainable. That's what we encourage you to do. So it's really awesome to see a whole bunch of $1 donations and even $5 donations, because $1 donations, that gets you access to the Green Room video. And let me tell you guys something. The Green Room video last week was one of the most energetic Green Room video discussions that we've ever had. And it's kind of cool because we separated now the post show and the Green Room into two different shows where they kind of used to be one show. Papa and Kooky hosting the post show here on the air. And, last week we had an awesome discussion about Game of Thrones and
right. I don't remember any of
what did we talk about?
Because we didn't set out to talk about any of it. It's just what we ended up talking about after the show. And so if you wanted to get kind of a behind the scenes look, just $1 a month, over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio gets you access to that. And then we've got various gifts available at other levels, and we can confirm all of those gifts are, they're physical items now.
And touched our balls.
Yeah. And if you want to handle those in your hands and then promptly wash your hands,
or put them in your mouth.
The look on Aniero's face just then, it was one of those things where I said something and he agreed with it too quick, so he's like, well, now I gotta roll with it.
Well, no,
I'm committed.
I was just sort of thinking these items did leave my hands, and I don't know, I don't know what happens to them after they leave here, so that's entirely possible. Anyway, but head on over to patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. We could definitely...
my Kickstarter, man, and that really bummed me out.
Yeah, that's right. We had to, look at Patreon because Kickstarter didn't end up working out. Anyway, head on over to patreon.com/Limit Break Radio and give whatever might be comfortable for you. By the way, we want to remind you about an event coming up in San Francisco in July. On July 27th, it's a Wednesday, the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra will share the stage with famous video game composer Nobuo Uematsu at the Davies Symphony Hall in San Francisco, and will perform the music from Final Fantasies 6, 7, and 10.
Yeah.
Fuck 8 and fuck 9.
So cool.
I'm not going.
This is Final Symphony's last stop on their U.S. debut tour. If you'd like more info, you can check out the website at Spiele Music Concert. That's SPIELEMUSIKCONZERTE.de. Because this is...
Glad they made it easy.
I know, right? But this is...
German.
This was a German production that is now touring all the way even to the United States. They've got stops in Baltimore and also obviously here on July 27th in San Francisco. So Final Symphony is a officially licensed series of concerts featuring symphonic music from the video game series Final Fantasy 6, 7, and 10. The exclusive arrangements being penned by Masashi Hamauzu, Joan Valentine. Oh, God, I'm slaughtering
lots
these
of
names.
English people.
And Roger Wanamo. Final Symphony 2, by the way, if you'd like to check out music from that, that's music from Final Fantasies 5, 8, and 13. They're going to be performing June 9th at in Stockholm. The Royal Stockholm Philharmonic Orchestra is going to be performing that.
Jux is going to be there, I heard.
Yeah, I'll be there. No, we're at Stockholm. What's the concert hall?
Is that concert?
Concerthuset?
Yeah, Concerthuset.
Concerthuset.
I don't know. All of these names, man. And also...
we're very well traveled here at Limit Break Radio.
By the way, that is going to be an album that will be available through marketplaces like iTunes iTunes, but it's not available yet. But this next one, Symphonic Fantasies, which is music from Square Enix, including music from Kingdom Hearts, Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, and Chrono Cross, is available from iTunes, and they're going to be performing in London with the London Symphony Orchestra. And again, you can find info about that at spielemusicconcerte.de. Yeah, let's stop with the complicated names and let's check out what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV news. Oh wait, what the hell's going on? Hang on. I think
blue screening?
No, I don't know. No.
Like music?
No, my VLC crashed.
Fuck you, VLC.
I know, right? Right? That's surprising because VLC is like normally.
Yeah, that's a very stable program.
Yeah, I've never actually seen that happen before. I know, right? So I'm working on it. Give me just a second.
Please stand by.
We actually do have surprisingly a little bit of news to talk about outside.
Just a little bit?
Outside of just a little bit to talk about outside of the live letter.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, wasn't the live letter have a lot of news?
The live letter does have a lot of news, but that's going to be our main discussion point, which, by the way, we'd like to receive your calls on Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Kooky Persona will help you out there, and we'll get you all set and squared away with getting connected to the show. And we definitely want to hear from you because, there have been a lot of opinions. I've been checking out Twitter. I've been keeping my ear to the ground and trying to, take the temperature on what everyone is...
Again, Aniero's computer needs to get its shit together. 2 weeks in a row, not cool.
I can't help really.
Aniero, tell us what your Odin ears hear.
Do your job!
All right.
What does Scuttlebutt say? Tell us what Scuttlebutt says.
Anyway,
what have your horny ears listened to?
Let's check out what's going on with FF14 news.
This is a Limit Breaking News Update.
I have no idea where you were going with that one.
With what?
With that.
Yeah,
that was insinuating you have a friend named Scuttlebutt who you have to listen to when you're horny.
I mean, mine was a Lord of the Rings reference, but yours? The fuck was that?
Well, this is Live Letter XXX, so we have to...
Scuttlebutt is like rumor mill.
Yeah, no, I know what Scuttlebutt is.
Horny ears is he's got horns, and I assume that's what he hears through.
What? Anyway,
confirmed Aniero's now raw.
You're retarded. Jesus. So we got a dev blog update that outlined a couple of interesting things about Aquapolis. Now, we will actually talk a lot more about that because, a lot was outlined in the live letter about Aquapolis. Except they didn't talk about the hair. The hair...
I don't know. I kind of like how they just sort of left it, they're like, oh shit, is that a fat cat on that Lalafell set? Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. And then we're like, wait, hold on. No, it's not cool. Go back.
That's awesome.
What
it's
the
more
fuck?
It's from an anime. Like, there's a couple anime characters with hair like that.
It's like a loaf of bread on a potato.
Yeah, it looks stupid.
It's like a pompadour. I'm gonna rock that.
No, it's not like a pompadour. It is a pompadour.
Yeah, right.
And it's terrible.
It's awesome.
Terrible.
He has a tumor growing out of his head. That man's sick. Get him some help.
Can they add some hairstyles that don't suck, please?
That are actually cool?
Yeah.
And don't just involve, like, volumizing to insane levels?
Right?
Like, look, I was all for, like, the afro, right? But, like, that's just, it's too much. It was too much.
Yeah.
We haven't gone far enough.
It's been too much for a while.
Incoming flock of seagulls haircut.
We need a rat's tail.
Oh no!
No!
Oh no!
The Elzen might already have a rat's tail.
I don't think Mikote get it. We need to get that ported over.
Do we have like a full on mullet yet?
No.
We need like a Joe Dirt. That's what we
don't
need.
because Aniero would be rocking it.
Why? No, that.
Well, we would never know.
Ugh,
come on.
Painful.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Oh my god.
I can't see this looking good on any character.
It's not supposed to.
Well, okay. Fine.
It looks so awesome. You can see just how far it goes, like a foot out from the Lalafell's face. If you scroll down.
Because they provide a profile shot. Of it. It's ridiculous. It's anime. It's more anime hair. Why do we need more anime hair?
You know what it is? That episode of Futurama where the brains of the one aliens grew so much they have to walk around with like the fucking support on the wheel.
It's because there's so much brains in there.
There's something up there.
Anyway, we also got the main scenario preview, which we've got a small paragraph. That's really all we've got here. But the conference held at Falcon's Nest was intended to celebrate the reconciliation between man and dragon, but the lingering shade of Nidhogg, clad in the flesh of the Azure Dragoon, marked the occasion by spilling the blood of his own kind, a timely atrocity to remind the children of Ishgard that the conflict was far from over. In those twilight hours, Nidhogg cried out for vengeance, and his brethren raised their voices for the final chorus of the Dragon Song War.
Escalia, can you give us an impression of... I mean, because you're the Dragoon, right?
Yeah.
So
the Azure Dragoon, actually.
Yeah.
One of them.
Can you give us an impression of Nidhogg's cry of vengeance?
No.
Wow, you're no fun.
Wow, that's...
Fuck you.
You know what? SE has taken everything from me.
Shut up.
I've got nothing left.
Shut up.
This is why you don't get a battle wyvern.
Fuck their dragoons. Fuck their wyverns.
This is why your wyvern will never be able to fight in battle.
Papa,
don't even...
Papa, would you like to do a Nidhogg vengeance cry for us?
He's thinking about it.
He's getting into character.
We're waiting.
Trying to think of how that would go.
Do your job!
You just gotta feel it.
Whoa, geez, okay.
Look,
all right.
You know what? I admire your gumption. That was a good try, but you still failed.
Yeah.
All right.
E for effort.
Okay.
No, that would be Estinian's voice. And he is Nidhogg, so it works.
Stop defending the intern, Nika.
Yeah, don't ever do that.
He did a good job, way better than I would have done.
It scared the shit out of me, honestly. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Anyway, we also got dungeon previews for Sorkai and Hullbreaker Isle. Hullbreaker Isle is fairly boring, but I actually...
don't know.
I was very interested in Sorkai. So let's start there. Majestic and forgotten, its existence unrecorded in the annals of man.
It's annals.
No. Annals.
Live letter 30, it's annals.
It's the annals of man.
A place rests atop the clouds in the farthest reaches of the churning mist. This skyborn splendor was once home to Radatasker, brood sister of Racevalgar and Nidhogg, until... what?
Rattata. I bet that dragon's in the top 2 percentile.
Until the treachery of mortals ensured that its stones would never again ring under the she-worm's talons. The dragons named it Sorkai, a grieving apology for their failure to avert her fate, and they watched with infinite sadness as Radatasker's empty roost was overrun by bird and beast. Now this is cool because it's been speculated in lore forums and on the show where Radatasker's lair was.
I just hear potato.
That's all I hear now too. Thanks, Nika. Cannot unhear.
And just so you know, in Final Fantasy XI, Radatasker was actually just a rabbit in the past.
Wait, was it a rabbit?
It was, yes.
Was it at least an NM?
Well, yeah, it was an NM. I mean, you
What
killed
did
it
it
3
drop?
times for your stupid Empyrean.
Oh, really?
Fresh scroll. Oh.
Anyway,
as interesting as this dungeon is, we have someone extremely important to all of us on the line right now.
Okay. Is in the middle of...
In the middle. This is worthy of it.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Are you gonna say who it is?
No, he has to introduce himself.
This is gonna be so disappointing.
All right, caller, who's on the line here?
Hey, remember me?
How could we forget?
How could anyone forget?
Hey, I was right.
Hi, Rob. Hi, how you doing?
Rob from New York.
I'm doing really good. It's been a few months, hasn't it?
It's been a while. We were worried about
There
you,
were
buddy.
people who were concerned for your life.
That's right.
I was concerned.
We were how you doing, dude?
I'm doing really good. I know it's been a while since I last played Final Fantasy, and knowing that all this crazy stuff is going on since I kind of made my exit.
Well, it's clearly because you haven't been around.
Yeah, the world's going to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I got two things for you. I wanted to kind of make this an announcement and make it official.
Okay, all right.
I'm hoping to develop a kind of game that is got a Final Fantasy feel to it.
Okay.
What kind of game is it going to be? Is it a card game?
Well, it's going to be a tabletop game. It's kind of got a really good. I'm hoping it will have a really good Final Fantasy feel to it.
All right.
Because I want people to be able to do essentially what they did in Final Fantasy and have that same kind of independence with their characters.
Do you have a title for your game yet?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Dreamscape Legacies.
Okay. All right.
What was your second thing you wanted to tell us?
I heard you were doing war cries, and oh my gosh!
Are you gonna do a war cry for us?
Well, I think he's done a war cry. He's done a war cry. So I feel like. Is it that you felt like your belt was challenged? Like, do you need to defend your title for war cry?
Rob from New York is our war cry correspondent.
There we go. Okay,
yes,
all right.
Exactly it.
Okay, all right. Let's hear your war cry, brother.
That was amazing.
Actually, that sounded more like Nidhogg.
That blew Pops out of the water.
Pops, take lessons. All right. I have a quick question for you, Rob, because in your absence, there have actually been quite a few rumors that have been popping up. So here's what we need you to do. We need you to confirm or deny the following rumor that you are actually me. That you are Kallo calling in and pranking the show. Can you shed some light on this?
Oh my gosh! People think I'm Kallo Landis.
Right? The audacity.
Well, I would like to say that they are off, but I feel like I kind of maybe share a connection to you.
Please tell us about your connection to Kallo Landis, please.
Yeah. What kind of?
Okay.
Are you recording
this? It's really hard to explain, but I'll try my best.
Okay. All right. I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Basically, me and Kallo share a similar way of playing games.
Okay.
I was watching him play Final Fantasy a week or two ago, and when he was playing with Cloud and all of them, I immediately thought in my head, this is me. I feel like I'm watching myself.
Is that okay?
Kallo uses the Rob strategies
because we both use Cloud in our party.
Yes.
Okay. You guys, it's actually a rare strategy. Most people don't use Cloud.
You're right. I've never heard of anyone using Cloud in their party.
Rob, I'm just so happy. Would you say that I'm like your spirit animal?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your opinion on coffee shops?
Hold on. Can I get you to say Kallo is my spirit animal?
Yes. I always thought when if I had a spirit animal in that I could compare us to in Final Fantasy, I would probably say a chocobo.
Okay.
Confirmed. Kallo is chocobo.
Kallo and Rob they have one of those wedding chocobos that two people can sit on. They have one together.
You know what, guys? Be jealous because me and Rob are Chocobo brothers. I can see it in your eyes right now.
Are you Chocobros?
Chocobros, that's right.
You are Chocobros.
Rob is my Chocobro.
There you go.
Rob and Kallo are Chocobros.
Rob, thank you for the call. We'll wait to hear more information about your game that you're developing. Good luck with that. We appreciate the call, and it's good checking in with you, man. Wow,
glad you're alive.
I'm sorry, I did not
expect that.
To be weird. I just came here to talk about foreskin.
When Juxta said like you have to wait, like I'm like Rob, but I'm like no, he's gone.
No,
he's been so gone.
Like, dropped off the map for months.
Someone hashtagged Rob rides again.
Wow, thank you.
But he said he was watching you the other day, Kallo. Is that kind of
right?
creepy?
Come on, Rob, you need to speak up if you're in chat.
Well, thanks for the call, Rob. We appreciate it. If you would like to call Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you'd like to call in on Discord. All right, let's kind of refocus that.
Wow.
You're welcome for that.
Thanks, dude.
It was that boy.
Shit, what up?
I like that people think that Rob is a planned bit. Like, how could we make that up?
Honestly, I mean, if it was if it was Kallo, that would be the most amazing thing because that would be major, both performance and editing. Yeah.
I promise you that if that was Kallo, he would take credit for it. I promise he would not let that go unknown.
The best part is before, just as I was about to say something, somebody in chat was like, "Why hasn't Kallo spoke this whole time?"
That's a bizarre conspiracy that has developed around the show. Anyway, all right, back to.
Isn't it funny how none of our listeners trust us now?
I know, right? That is the point. That is the point. Yes. So anyway, just before we move on to Hullbreaker, though, I think Sorkai is going to be really cool. Although, something that I've kind of realized that it frustrates me about dungeons, and we've sort of identified this before, and I guess it's kind of being reinforced now that I've been working my way through through the first Dark Souls game, is that the idea that a dungeon is somewhere on the map that you see for a while and then get to go to. I feel like these locations are fairly removed, and
yes,
we never get that sense of like we're traveling to a place that we've seen for a long time. Now, that's not to say that that's never happened. It has happened. Keeper of the Lake, I think, is a great example of that, but it was an underwhelming example of that. Because it was just it ended up being exactly what I said it was going to be. That dungeon that you just did for tomes, and it was in there in the roulette, and here it was this place that you've seen off in the distance, and I just thought it should play more of a role in the lore and in the world than it did. And then the other one was getting actually into Ishgard, and then the upper section of Ishgard too, through what's the cathedral dungeon?
The
vault.
The vault. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes, the vault. That was another one where I was like, oh, cool. I can see like where we're running and stuff like that.
Something that I think that the world at large of Eorzea would benefit from, and I mean, obviously it would take resources, but for what it would add to the world, I don't think that would be a very big trade-off. And WoW did this fantastically, is all of the dungeons, all of the raids, you could see where they all were. And in some cases, even, when you're not in the raid, you can actually go and explore those zones.
Right.
And the amount of immersion that it would add to the game, and I think not just that, but you have so many like fan projects that pop up out of games like this. Giving them that many more like scenes and set places to play around with, there's no negative impact that it would have on the game or the world to include those in some way. And when I look at these pictures of Ratatoska's lair or whatever,
Sorkai.
Yeah.
When
I look at it, all I can think is running it is probably going to be very comfortable and easy to run.
I mean, it's just
it's shorts,
easy to wear.
There's going to be 3 bosses, and you're going to work. I'm not sure.
Rooms.
It's a loot corridor.
I hope that there's going to be some additional lore. Like, that's kind of the only holdout that I have for dungeons anymore, is that there's some kind of additional lore that's going to pull me in or going to interest me.
You're always hoping to be something like the library where you're going to get more to it.
Yeah, at least there was something there, even though, I've run the library probably a total of 4 times ever.
Well, like, that was like the fun bit. Like, was it Totorak, when you go back there and you get to see like how the person's mind has devolved as you're on your way down? Like, that was cool. That made that dungeon more fun. But then again, it only made it more fun the first time.
Yes, right, exactly. And then it just kind of it becomes kind of a loot corridor. And I think something that someone in the chat had mentioned. Let's see, Frosty says that's a huge improvement. Alex over Coil, you can actually see where you are. Although I think that it would be, like with Alex, once you're in there, like, you kind of have a sense of where you are, but it would be more so if you could see out somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was one of the cool things about that I thought was really awesome about Keeper of the Lake is that you could kind of see the other side of Mordona and where you came from and what kind of exists to the south. That kind of stuff always is really kind of important to me, and I hope that I just hope that it's details that they're not glossing over. And usually they don't, but I don't know. Like it's hard for me to get super excited about a dungeon, even if there's some lore attached to it that it is, kind of awesome.
Well, who was it? Somebody mentioned Toto Rock and seeing, or not Toto Rock, 1,000 Maws and seeing how that one character's basically has gone fucking insane, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time that we actually got real story in a dungeon,
Library.
As you're going through the dungeon? Okay, now see, even the library, you have to read stuff, but that was just random.
That was sort of
I'm going to go with Tamtara Hard.
Expositional.
Yeah, sorry, Tamtara Hard. Yeah, that's the one. So that was the first one that I think did it really fucking well.
Well, it had some kind of narrative story attached to it. That was sort of like self-contained.
Were there any downsides to that? Though?
No,
her creepy fucking laugh was a downside.
No, that was awesome. So why haven't we seen them try and do that again? Is my question.
It's too hard.
I don't know. They use the Tamtara one as to kind of bring that story full circle with the original Band of Adventures.
Sure. I get that.
Jim in the chat brings up a good point. Fractal was pretty good in terms of exposition and lore.
It gave some exposition and lore, sure, but there wasn't a narrative for the dungeon. And the fact that the only reason they did that was to wrap up a story. Well, fine, create a story using it. Each one of these things should have a story within it.
They said they were once Tamtara had such great acclaim and everyone loved it. I remember them saying that they would look into something similar in the future, whether or not it's a horror theme or not. I mean, I remember them saying they understand we liked it, but they never did.
Yeah, I mean, look, even take Ampedor City Hard Mode that they just came out with. That actually had a story. The reason we were going back was because there was some weird aura, and the little weird immortal kids from Gridania tried to go in there, and their elementals went crazy, and they're go figure out what it is. And so we just run through it and kill the thing. You're oh yeah, that makes sense. Why couldn't we have had one of them accompany us and give us little cutscenes before each boss that actually helped build a narrative around that?
We had a narrative entering, and then it kind of stopped.
They're really good about doing that with story dungeons. Sometimes they'll that final fight with Estinian and the original Nidhogg.
Okay, yes, but even with Anti-Tower, we get a cutscene before and after. But give us something going through it. Come on.
So that more people can bitch in the duty finder when people want to watch cutscenes.
We know they can do it well.
Yeah.
Because they did it with Tamtara Hard. Why aren't they even attempting it anymore?
I think Anti-Tower is probably one of the best examples that I can cite for my high expectation for a dungeon that was a total letdown.
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind with Tamtara, it was really it was things that you clicked on the ground to get more of the story, and then a cutscene before the final boss. It's not like there was one before every boss.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It has nothing to do with hand-holding 86. We just want these dungeons to feel like they're alive and not just loot corridors. And that doesn't even have anything to do with just cutscenes. Because you're right, after you do it one time and your skip cutscenes are on, you're never going to see it again, right? But give some actual voiceover lines to the bosses, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, look, in some cases, people might just end up being oh, they're annoying, blah, 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 whatever. But guess what? When it comes to the vault, what do people know?
Filthy rats.
What do people know most about that?
Yeah.
Sickness must be purged.
Exactly. It lives on.
Right.
It makes a legend.
And they keep joking, and they've used that to spring into what they're doing with Hildebrand right now, where they've got the guy who worked under him, which is awesome.
It's a great lesson to take even from World of Warcraft. How many fucking times was Kael'thas was just a setback? And now whenever you hear that in World of Warcraft, it was just a setback, you immediately think of Kael'thas. create stuff like that within your world that lasts beyond the patches.
Yeah, and I think here's a good example of Hullbreaker Hard. To the chagrin of countless treasure hunters, the golden coffer of the legendary Mistbeard was not to be found on Hullbreaker Isle. And so the Mist Witch had withdrawn to reveal the Isle. Did those ambitious souls depart to seek fame and fortune elsewhere, allowing Einhizwer Slafsren, that's a great name, to quietly petition Admiral Merylwib for permission to repurpose it as training ground for Maelstrom recruits. The Storm Marshal would have you be the first to brave this gauntlet, that you might pit yourself against the Isle's fearsome fauna and the Maelstrom's elite, and in so doing, rouse their spirits. Will this give Storm officers a beating that they will not soon forget, or will they stand triumphant at the last and shout that they have bested the Warrior of Light?
Sounds boring.
I'm so not fucking interested.
What was the other one they turned into?
This is Holly Tally version 3.
Yeah. Oh my God, who cares?
Who gives a shit?
We just did this exact story for...
There's Rogadins, there is Merylwib and Slefferson, which is a male Rogadin. So if they actually let the Rogadins be a part of the story, and there's actually story as you go through.
Shut up!
No,
shut up! Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Just talking about story. If the NPCs accompany you and you get to talk to the NPCs as you go through,
Rogadin.
I think it could be fun.
Because
look at that, the race car.
Slafferson is a Rogadin name, and you said it was cool. So.
No, I said it was dumb. I said it was.
You said it was a cool name.
No, no.
The most sarcastic, cool name ever.
No,
master race.
God,
Nika.
Oh,
Nika, you disappoint me.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, I love what Frosty just said. What if Merylwib's the final boss and you get to challenge her
Nobody
to a fight
gives
in
a
the training
shit
ground?
because she's going to be overshadowed by fighting the one-handed flame general from last patch.
That's what I'm saying. We got to fight Raubon, which honestly wasn't that hard of a fight at all. This would be epic. 4 people versus Merylwib. She can't be beaten in 4-on-1. Right. Fuck yes.
You know what? Fine. It's cool the first time. But what about the second, the third, the fourth, the 10th, the 20th, the 100th time?
I don't want to fight a Makote. That's weird.
Look.
Merylwib will always be cool. I hope she's in this.
Okay, no, for Nika's sake, I don't want you to fight Merylwib because, like you said, after you're home farming this, she's gonna be just a pushover boss that you're gonna one-shot and not even care about. Do you want Merylwib reduced to that?
Yeah, that is.
We already see her that way, but do you want to see her that way?
It is.
How do you see her that way? She's never presented that way.
Because she's a weak-ass bitch.
Final boss of Ishgard storyline is gonna be Kani-Senna.
All 3 of the stupid generals.
What? What?
Yep, I said it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Raubon would wipe his ass with her.
Nope.
What would he do with his other arm? Oh.
Look, I even if it is Merylwib, I couldn't care. I honestly could not care less about this.
I think that would make it so much cooler.
No.
I think it would be underwhelming for a fucking grand champion general to just be in a fucking 4-man dungeon.
Well,
considering we fought Midgard Sormer in a 4-man dungeon,
which was underwhelming.
It was. It would. That's sort of like what I was just saying about Keeper of the Lake, is that it ended up being very underwhelming. For all of that buildup, for all of the, you see it in the distance in 1.0, you saw it in the distance for the majority of 2.0, and when we finally got to go there in the last patch, it's you just grind it over and over again.
You know what? I'm actually going to play devil's advocate now. We didn't actually really fight the Midgar Sormer.
No, we
passed a test of his.
Right.
It's kind of like how underwhelmed I felt when we defeated Nidhogg. but now it's came back around.
Right.
But the key to that is having the Midgar Somer storyline come back around. Now he's your little buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's you know what I mean?
Your little buddy.
I don't know. I still think he has his own agenda. We just don't know what it is.
He's your little pocket rocker.
He's only following you as a little buddy because he's kind of like keeping an eye on things and watching and waiting for the right time to do something.
Well, hold on. All right, hold on.
That's not going to happen.
Wait,
because he's always going to be your little buddy.
No, hold on now.
Oh my God.
She's kind of alluded to a point unintentionally because she's not that smart. But
Dick.
Okay, Midgar Somer, like Heidelin, cares about the planet, right? That's why he's our ally. He was testing us. He's like, all right, yes, you're fit to be the champion of the planet. A little while ago in one of these episodes, someone brought up the idea, like, we're the opposite of the darkness, blah, 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 blah. What if in some way we start to threaten something and Midgar Somer decides, you know what, you're actually probably going to be better off dead.
No.
Like you're doing more damage now than anything else.
Not unless they're going to take your Midgard Somer pet away.
Yeah, they're never going to do that. Or your Midgard
it's never going to work as long as you have that minion.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah, he is your
friend for life.
Yeah, they've got
you are BFFs.
I never got the impression. I never got the impression he was our friend though.
No, he's your bestie.
Like he's
your new Valanero. You're gonna get married.
I mean, he suppressed the goddess's blessing in us or whatever to hide us from the Ascians because it benefited his agenda. Like I don't think that. I mean, he didn't want us to get it back because it would mean the Ascians would come after us and blah blah blah. Like he has his own vision of what he wants the world to be, and he's only tagging along with us because we are the one who's most likely to get him to that point.
He has his own vision, and that's a slumber party. It's going to be great.
He's really our friend at all.
I think that if they wanted to, they could turn this around and put us against Midgar Somer. And the fact that we have a fucking pet or a mount is not enough reason to not go there.
I feel like they've worked themselves a bit into a corner, but we'll see. I mean, the thing is, though, is that it is entirely contingent about it coming back around, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't just let that plot thread drop and then just,
Yeah, if he is just our friend forever, then fine, whatever. I think they missed a great opportunity, but
I don't know. Let's go to our phone lines. We've got Crimson Tinted of Balmung hanging out on Discord. What's up, Crimson? We got Crimson.
Crimson, you there?
Crimson, buddy.
Oh, there I am. Yes.
Hi.
I'm here.
Hi.
Oh,
welcome.
he's from Balmung, so I just thought that was a dramatic pause.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, what do you want to talk about, bud?
All right. So, I was noticing here in the discussion we're having so far that we're trending towards sort of the what are the continuous threads of lore that are showing up in all this new dungeon content, all this new PvE content, right? And we have concerns about forgettable lore elements popping up to just pop up real quick and there's not much investment, what have you.
Yeah.
I share your fears similarly, and I feel like a lot of this is happening because of the heavy focus on new non-raid PvE content. We hear a lot, this live letter about Aquapolis. We hear, soon to come in the future about Palace of the Dead,
right?
Things like that, and we getting all this new stuff thrown at us, and it seems involved enough that lore almost seems to be taking sort of a back seat here in some of this new stuff. Granted, yeah, we're getting, close to the Dragon Song War and all that in 3.3, but I feel like there's a especially heavy focus in that, and you got some clues on that, I feel, from their guests they had on the live letter today, one of the writers. I thought an especially telling part of the exchange was when they talked about the fact that this particular writer was on, the Coil series of raids, right, and not an Alexander,
right? And
I don't know. I fear that they're too content focused, especially after the failure of Diadem. Throw things at us, but that we're forgetting the rich and repeatable lore that we got out of A Realm Reborn and out of that raid cycle.
Sure.
And
no,
that's
absolutely.
What I'm afraid of.
Absolutely. And I think I get it. And thanks for your call, Crimson. We appreciate it. So I think that you bring up a couple of good points here. And first of all, that these new events that we're getting, the Aquapolis, the Deep Dungeon, that these new events aren't very lore focused. Though we don't really know that. I think that entirely depends on their setting and exactly specifically where in the world that they're set. Because there are a couple of things that exist in the overworld on the map that are marked as important or marked as significant, but we don't really know what is going to go there or what goes on there. So depending on where the Deep Dungeon is located, we already know that it's somewhere in the Shroud, and that that it shares some architectural similarities with Amdapor, and may point to being Amdapori. So that may be rooted in that calamity cycle, which may end up being cool. But the thing is I think that there is content that they don't necessarily have to attach to lore,
to a story,
to a story, right? And and there's ways that like I think that the PvP setting in Korthus is very interesting. I want to know a lot more about where on the map that is taking place. I Papa Woody's suggestion that it's at Camp Glory in Korthus, a part of the inaccessible Korthus map,
I think
is an interesting idea.
Something that we do have to give them a little bit of credit for is you don't have to have an actual narrative for there to be lore and backgrounds to it. You don't even necessarily have to put fucking books around a library to do that either. I mean, just by virtue of putting in a new zone, putting in a new event, take Seal Rock, as you said, for example. I mean, that in itself can be very telling. And I think that's something that you've started to learn through your playthrough of like Dark Souls, for example, that everything around you tells some type of story, and I'm learning the same things even from something like Overwatch. So I think it's just dismiss and say that they're not doing anything with the lore or with the world,
right?
And it's another thing to want them to do more.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of the storytelling needs to be direct either.
That's true.
For as cool as the Ida thing, and or not Ida. What's her name from Tamtara?
Oh, I don't know her actual name, but the Tamtara.
Edda? Is it Edda?
Yeah.
Edda.
There you go.
Yeah, Edda. I was close.
Edda.
All right. So yeah, but the whole Edda thing and the story of her party, as we were saying before, very cool element to that dungeon, and something that we'd like to see more of. But at the same time, there are sections of the world that we just don't either have access to or don't know much about.
Right. And in some cases, look, it's done fine. Like, for example, as much as I think they could have improved on Amdapor hard mode,
right,
there was still a lot that was in there. Like, there was the risen corpses of the two different sides.
Yeah.
Right? Like we actually gleaned, I think, quite a bit from that. But then when you get something like Holly Tolly hard mode or Hullbreaker hard mode, like, what more are we supposed to get from that lore-wise than just, they turned it into a fucking Coliseum gauntlet thing,
Yeah.
I think that's where the letdown sort of comes from, because in some cases, I think they do that really well against, again, Amdapor City hard mode. Even I think Brayflock's hard mode at least found some way to take a story with the goblins and push it a little bit further.
Well, and it comes down to a question of where are you getting your entertainment value from. If you're looking at dungeons, for the most part, you know what you're going to get from dungeons. You're going to get corridor, boss fight, trash in between. And so we're looking for lore as kind of where that extra entertainment value is coming from. What we're hoping for with Palace of the Dead is that the content on its face is going to be what provides that entertainment value.
Yeah, and I think if that is the focus, like if that's indeed where they're focusing their time and effort and development, that's not the worst thing in the world. That there actually stands to be a benefit from that. So it could go one of two ways. Now the other thing that Crimson talked about that I think is worth talking about is the perceived failure of Diadem. Now we've been talking about this, waiting for we've been waiting to hear what they plan on doing with it, because if you look at it, if they never go back to it, first of all, that's a broken promise that they said that it would be an expanding system that continued over time. And if they're willing to drop content like that so quickly, I think that that's a concerning trend in development, period, because that completely invalidates the FC airships and any need to do any of that content, like that really just serve to be an access gateway for Diadem. And if Diadem's pointless, I don't think, with them changing the outputs and finding more outputs for materia as they outlined in the live letter, what is the purpose that Diadem is going to serve?
It's not even that, because obviously, for the most part, it's a failure. But here's the thing. If it would have just been a straight up catastrophic failure, like right out the gate, nobody did it, none of that shit, that's one thing.
A Lords of Verminion.
That's one thing. Like, all right, look, we tried something, it didn't fucking work, like, it happens, right? But because it had so much potential and they didn't do anything with it, to me, that's what makes it such a glaring failure. And that's why I think for a lot of people it's such a sore subject, is because, they're always trying to, I think, find ways to innovate in this game, find new things for us to do, and they actually got a foothold on something that resonated with a lot of people. And they didn't seize that moment.
At least initially.
Right, and they didn't seize that moment. Now, that's not to say, I guess, that in the future somewhere they can't still do something with it. But now, even if you do, you've lost, I think, a lot of trust with people. And I think they might be a little apprehensive to jump back into something relating to Diadem.
Well, or anything that takes, that takes some effort to get into on the front end of it.
Not to mention how, they could have also poisoned themselves going forward. Anytime they mention, like, oh, this is RNG in some way, people might be thinking, oh yeah, just like Diadem was. Like
an expanding system. They talk about how Deep Dungeon is going to continue to expand over time.
And it already has this negative stigma on it because of how they dropped the ball on Diadem.
Right. I mean, and the thing is that there's ways to adjust that zone and adjust that play style to make it relevant. And I mean, I just feel like they're choosing not to do it. And I have to wonder why. Like, what was the point in doing it in the first place if you are never going to go back to it, or claiming that it's going to be an expanding system,
or if you're going to wait, a year and a half before you go back to it,
right?
Like, why wouldn't you have plans to develop it already in the pipeline?
Yeah, or they should at least have communicated that a little bit more clearly, so we're not sitting here expecting more from it.
I'd actually, that's something. I mean, I know they've talked a lot about Diadem before in previous interviews and previous live letters, but I think more than anything else, I'd be curious to know, like, what's been going on with Diadem so far? Was that intended, or at some point did someone at Square Enix make the decision, like, you know what, let's shelf Diadem for a while? And why was that decision made?
Yeah, no, good question.
I think we're going back.
But eventually, but no one asked you, Pop.
There's no way for us to believe that.
The animal weapon.
To Diadem?
Oh no, yeah,
no, fuck that.
I don't see them doing that.
All right, hold on, come over here. I'm gonna give you my mic.
Yeah.
What makes you like do you have any type of like evidence for that or anything?
You gotta gather items for the new anima stuff, and I think that's where we're going to go.
But that was already an anima step. Like, we were gathering.
Now they did say in the next one that there's going to be way more ways to gather items than before. So I think by virtue
to obtain items.
So maybe by virtue,
gathers are bad.
Something within Diadem will make it, but it's not going to be anything meaningful. It's going to be like, oh, use spoils to buy items. In which case, I have some saved up.
There you go.
I don't.
But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't do anything for Diadem.
No, it doesn't, and it forces people back into a pointless system that they don't like.
It forces them back into a grind fest.
And what they need to do is they need to reevaluate the system overall.
Mm-hmm.
As a whole.
The only way that I could possibly see it working out is, first of all, they're going to have to update the item level of the gear that's in there.
Yeah, it's step.
And what they're also going to have to do, the only, I think, hope they have is if you can still get spoils to spend on normal stuff as well as the items. Because that, again, gives you multiple reasons for going in there, which I think has been one of the biggest strengths of the anima grind so far.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think if they're going to redo the whole system, I think they're going to have to start by saying, okay, you're not going to
fly. They can't redo the... Why would they redo the whole system? They need to add another layer on top of it.
I feel like they really kicked themselves in the balls when they made it so you could fly there. I think they should rework the zone so you just walk everywhere and you have to fight through the mobs and you have to adventure through the mobs, and you have to like actually go around and explore stuff, not just fly over things.
That's not the trend that they've been going.
I know
though.
they've been saying that's what they need to do.
They've been lessening the amount of aether currents that you need to collect before you can fly.
But that would add a different type of direction to it.
They'd have to redesign the fucking map to be able to.
All they would have to do.
That map is so awful.
All they would have to do is add teleports. That's all they'd have to do.
Actually, yeah.
No. What I'm saying is that I like if I'm gonna walk around and adventure in a zone, there better be more than just floating islands with trees and mobs.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, it's fine for flying because it's like the zone is pretty uninteresting and it doesn't actually fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we were going through a place that had exposition and had, there was a reason for us to be there, I think that would be a different story.
Well, because they do have just these floating islands, there is a lot of open space. And let's say that they were to just be like, all right, you know what, no flying, you do have to like adventure your way through. It's easy enough to just start inserting new islands in there with different spectacles on them.
I guess, but then you're just adding shit to the zone, and
that's not being used anyhow.
But why? Yeah, like why? If you're going to be adding shit to the zone, there needs to be a reason for it. It can't just appear there one day.
Well, it's floating islands. They just floated into the zone, floated into the vicinity.
I just the whole thing is disappointing, and I wish that we would get some clarification on it, because it seemed
on what's happening.
It just seemed half done. Even when we got it out of the gate, we were like, okay, this is a good start. You know what I mean? Like, it never got to the point where we were like, like this really feels like a full-fledged system.
It's kind of funny how the most disappointing event is also Skrull's favorite event.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising,
guys.
Actually.
So Ascalia and Papa both left the room.
Okay.
And they came back at the same time.
Okay.
There might be something going on there.
Implying that they're really Rob from New York.
Live letter XXX, what?
Ascalia, you do know that it's unprofessional to be diddling the intern out in the hallway, right?
That's not what you used to tell Juxta.
I never diddled Juxta.
Oh.
And we are equals. It's fine if you're equals. If there's a hierarchy disparity, then that's
cigars.
All right, so let's actually get into live letter discussion here. Again, if you'd like to join the discussion, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, or limitbreakradio.com/Discord. So Revenge of the Horde is going to be dropping June 7th, 2016. Oh my God.
June 7th?
Yeah. Wow. That seems so far away.
It's really only like 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks. What are we going to talk about next week?
Overwatch.
No, seriously, what the fuck are we going to talk about next week? I have no idea.
I have a few ideas, but I don't want to spoil it.
I feel like they're like the length between patches is palpable now. Before with A Realm Reborn, no, it felt like they were well timed
in 2.0.
Given the content that we had to do and when how far the patches were spaced out, yeah, like a casually playing, I think that it was well spaced. This does not feel well spaced. This feels like, there's like about 4 weeks of content that...
Guys, but relax. We're going to get the same content patches in the same amount of time in 3.0 with the same amount of stuff in each content patch. That's what they said in 2.0, and
I don't think that they actually said that.
They said something along those lines.
Don't think that they did.
Pretty sure they did.
You're just making stuff up now.
No.
Yeah.
No, they said roughly the same
source,
content.
Please.
The internet.
I hate you. Well, apparently we would have talked about it on the show, so if someone can timestamp that'd be...
Skrull, get to work.
Anyway,
you fired him.
You're hired again, Skrull. Summer intern, go.
So we got to take a look at a couple of things here. The Nidhogg fight, known as the final steps of
the
faith.
Oh wait.
No,
final steps.
The final the final steps of faith.
Okay, first it was the steps of faith, but now this one's the final step. Like, we're going back there. I don't think we can trust you, Square Enix, again. I've been hurt before.
Not
and
to
if we
mention,
go back, this is the extreme final steps of faith. Like, I don't.
Were there actually any steps on that bridge to begin with?
There were some steps, but I don't feel like they were like the main focus of
There were
the.
I feel like to go up the steps to fire the dragon killer.
Yeah, it was. Like
I was gonna say because I feel like the stairway of fate is only like just 3 steps. It's more like a stool than anything else.
I don't know. I just am not happy to see that we're gonna have to see Nerf Steps of Faith all over again. We're gonna have to see those posts everywhere once again.
But
we can just recycle those
hold
posts.
on.
It's fine.
Yeah, just copy pasta right there.
This could be a good opportunity for us because people actually refer to the Salted Earth episode as like an era. You know, like that was a big changing point for our show.
Yeah.
Brought in a lot of new people, so this could be an omen for us. It's going to happen again.
Well, we'll see.
The new era begins with the final steps of faith.
the final Salted Earth.
So on the live letter, hey, let's just take a look at the video that they shared with us on the live letter. Of course, we've got the pig glamour. I'm really getting
the pig glamour.
I'm getting very sick of the cutesy fucking armor that they keep bringing into this goddamn game.
Right.
Yokai Watch, that's what's up.
No, it's not. It's stupid. Which I understand you actually bought that shit, didn't you?
Oh, no, I bought Bravely Second.
Oh, you just took a picture of it. Oh, okay. I thought you had bought it.
And then Skuro said, like, oh, did you actually buy that? I'm like, no, Skuro, you fucking moron.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
I'm
just showing you that it exists in the world.
So we're not going to bother running any of the audio because we wouldn't understand it anyway. But they did show off.
Wait, does that pig have wings?
No, it doesn't.
It should.
Oh. I'm like, that'd actually be kind of badass.
No, you'll see here in just a second that
when pigs fly.
he'll adjust the camera angle to reveal
Is the pig dabbing?
who is. It sort of looks like it.
That pose is pretty awesome, though. I want that pose.
It does look like a dab pose, doesn't it?
A dab?
Like slash emote slash
there you
dab.
go. See, it's Nidhogg hanging out. Now I kind of want to can we tell any context clues here? Because we're on a broken bridge. We see Ishgard in the background. I mean, can we assume that Nidhogg just straight up fucked up the Steps of Faith and...
Oh, did he pull a Bahamut?
No, he knocked over the tower.
Well, like on Ishgard. Pull a Bahamut on Ishgard.
No.
Yeah, maybe he destroyed the bridge to cut Ishgard off.
I wonder if this is going to have any long-lasting graphic impacts on, the overworld, because that would be kind of cool.
How sweet would it be if, like all the grand companies are like marching to Ishgard's aid, and yeah, like Nidhogg destroys the bridge right as they get there. So like, there's just gonna be all kind of like violence and massacre and mayhem before we can actually get over there to help.
Because we are just, it looks like we're just fighting him on a chunk of that bridge. There's
that's definitely it. That's definitely the bridge.
There's not much that is there.
Are the steps still present?
The steps were never there.
The steps are a lie.
It's actually a pretty cool battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's still fairly like.
It's a square. Yeah, it's a square battlefield.
I like that they introduced corners in our battlefields this go around. I think that's going to add a very interesting dynamic to it.
It looks cool though.
Is anyone else disappointed with his size? I mean, I know he's not any bigger than what he was, but
he's smaller than Vishap.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be like a brood father or brood mother or something.
He's the same size as he was in Airy.
Well, yeah, no, I realize that, but that's also not like his physical body. Like he fucking possessed Estinian. He has both his eyes back. He's all fucking corrupted and shit. I feel like he could have increased his size and no one would have really batted an eye, right?
It doesn't feel like that epic of a fight. Like even compared to the worms in 11, he seems a bit small.
We'll compare him to Thornton.
No, better yet, let's compare him to the final fight of what would have been in A Realm Reborn, so against like Ultima or whatever, right? Like that wasn't even just like a single battlefield. That was like an entire dungeon going through Castrum and stuff, right?
There is a practical concern about targeting and locking on. I mean, one of the things that sucked about Vishap was that he was a kind of a dick to hit. You know what I mean? Like,
just click on the little monster list and you'll be fine.
I just
wow, wrecked.
Yeah, one-shotted. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to get super hyped about it.
I wonder if there'll be multiple phases to this fight.
I bet there will be, because didn't they say there was going to be an X mode too? So this is going to be like the next primal type fight.
Yeah, I could see there being multiple phases, because if there's not, like, that does seem kind of playing for like the final big boss of the
expansion
of the
It's gonna be
story.
multiple phases. What are you guys talking about?
Not just phases,
but like multiple
the battleground changes.
Like how
Ultima.
Well, not even just Ultima, but
Nail.
Sephiroth. How he falls off the platform and then gets huge. You know,
we were complaining that we got spoiled on that right in the trailer, so maybe they're hiding it. This time.
What would be cool is if you defeat him, and like that big thing we see in the back, if that falls through, and maybe we have to progress further up, fighting through a few hordes, and like keep on taking him on. Because think of something like the Gilgamesh fights, right, on the big bridge. Like you walk
keep
along
fighting him as you
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the last
That would
phase
be
is like
sweet.
on his back while he's flying.
Well, I think what's
been done.
I think what would be cool is if the bridge gets progressively destroyed as you go, you progress through the fight.
But then it would have been nice if we started on it like when it's in pristine condition, and as we fight through it, he's destroying it around us.
And if you're not careful, it destroys and you fall off and you can't get back up.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
And there's dynamites at the bottom.
Yeah, Diablo's Part 2.
It's
okay. Scally, I was gonna like add on to that joke and be like, hey, and he's gonna sleep you, and you have to like cure your party members to wake them up. But no, you just completely ruined the joke by explaining it. Thank you, Skrull.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it?
Oh.
God damn, son.
Ow, my chest hurts.
Did you even try?
So, but that's really all of the info that we've got about steps of the final steps of faith. Is just kind of the context clues that we've been able to pull out of there.
Which is underwhelming.
Well, what can you really say about...
I think it's pretty much what you'd expect for this video.
Yeah. I mean, it's the we were wondering what the EX fight is going to be, and so now we definitely know. We know that this is going to bring a conclusion to the Dragon Song War, and so I think that lines up the rest of the Warring Triad to unfold for the next two patches. For 3.4 and 3.5.
Why can't we have two X fights? What's wrong with that, SE?
Whoa, Nika.
Too much to ask.
Let's not get crazy now.
Yeah, let's. Wow.
We can't
Slow
have
down.
a Warring Triad and the end of the story in the same patch.
Slow down,
never.
Nika. All right, just chill. Just chill.
Sorry.
There's no chill.
Just thought maybe.
And we also got to check out a preview of the Aquapolis and what is involved in exactly getting in there.
Yay, the Aquapolis.
We've heard about this, in passing for a while, and this is sort of like the first concrete bit of talk that we've got about it, a bit of information that we've gotten about it, and so we see the devs here doing a regular old treasure map. And after they defeat the couple of waves of enemies, and of course they're in a party of 4, the portal for getting into the Aquapolis spawns, and then they get taken down, and they start the event proper. So I think that this is a pretty interesting addition to the content, and we do know that the next anima step is going to include collecting a catalyst. Do you guys think that sort of like the previous, the 2.0 relic step, that the catalyst is going to drop from these dragon skin maps, and then you just that's just more of a chance to get one of those portals to spawn, and hey, let's do this if it spawns.
It certainly wouldn't surprise me to see them use the relic weapon to guide people into the new content that they're trying to release.
Well, and have it be optional too. Like I think that having items come out of it, since it's so RNG dependent,
right?
I mean, because Aquapolis is hugely RNG dependent.
Yeah.
That I think that's probably a bad idea. But if the item that you're going for just straight up comes out of the chest and you can guarantee guarantee that it's going to come out of the chest, and you hit the portal if you happen to feel like it. I think that that's a good way, of funneling participation into the event.
Aquapolis is such a newer thing that we're hearing about. Didn't we just start hearing about this like last live letter or a couple live letters ago?
Yeah,
we haven't been hearing about this for a long time.
No, we haven't.
I think, didn't they announce this at the PAX live letter?
They did, and it was only really just kind of like a small footnote, and we were like, "What the fuck are treasure dungeons?"
By the way, there will be a treasure dungeon.
Right.
Oh, no, let's keep going.
Right, and it's actually, I'm kind of actually surprised to see how involved it is. It does seem pretty involved. I think we were drawing a lot of comparisons to Nizul Isle with the Deep Dungeon. I think that there are some comparisons here with Moblin Mazemongers.
I never really did Mazemongers.
I think the biggest thing of Moblin Mazemongers was creating your own dungeon and filling it with your own monsters and stuff to create like a perfect XP dungeon. And so really, I don't think it really has much to do with Moblin Mazemongers, to be honest.
Well, not to do, but I mean, just sort of inspired by.
Inspired by, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the
RNG element of like you click a door, you either get booted out or you go deeper in. That does feel kind of unique to 14. I can't think of anything like that I've seen in another game.
What I think they've probably already dropped the ball on when it comes to this is, I think, our biggest gripe about a lot of this game, and that is incentive. Okay, you get Gil, and you get materia. Like,
and there's also rare minions like the Opu that normally drop through dungeons.
That's what I was wondering. If they put rare minions, rare glamour, things like the Kingly Whiskers, or like, those things that normally go,
shit?
That might be okay.
Stuff you want to go treasure hunting for?
Actually, okay, that would make sense. Yeah.
Because if it's just Gil and materia, why the fuck do I care? I have all that.
This, I don't know for certain, but isn't like in the Dragon Quest series, isn't there like some kind of like cache treasure dungeon that you can go into at some point in the series?
In the treasure treasures?
No,
in Dragon Quest.
No idea.
I don't
never play it. I've never played Dragon Quest.
I feel like that's something that I've heard, but
the only other game that I have any reference for something like this was in Mists of Pandaria. Near the fucking end, they put in like a treasure sort of room where you had to like get across like a bunch of like complex puzzles and stuff like that in a certain amount of time.
Oh my god, yes.
And if you got to the end, you got a bunch of fucking treasure chests with gold in it.
That was so hard.
Fun though.
It's got like, to me, it's got like a Diablo 3-esque thing where you get to the end of a dungeon, you kill a treasure goblin, you might get a portal to go to an extra treasure area that you can go check out.
Yeah.
It kind of has that feeling to me with the RNG element, but I don't know. I think it's cool. It seems kind of fleshed out for something that we just started hearing about recently.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts anything. It looks pretty cool to me.
Yeah, we see the portal here and talking. I don't know why they're talking so much about the fucking portal.
Just click the damn thing.
Yeah, I know. Jesus.
Well, they're showcasing that it stays up for 10 minutes.
Oh, great. We needed to see it for all 10 minutes. I wouldn't have taken their word for it. I think it only stays up for 8. They're full of shit.
There's a timer right there. It's counting down. 10 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
There was some speculation about, what exactly the entrance method of the dungeon is going to be, and if it just pops randomly. It does seem that is the case. And also, I think that's cool. Like, 10 minutes seems to be a reasonable amount of time where if you're solo or maybe doing one of these maps, that you could, in theory, collect 3 other people in a hurry.
I just had a portal pop. Who wants to go?
Exactly, yeah.
My question is, if you weren't present for the first treasure chest, can other people join in with the portal?
That's a good question. Is it only flagged for the party members that were there when you down the
you can watch other people fight, treasure maps, but I wonder, can you see their portal or not?
I feel like it's just got to be. You've got to be
their portal.
No, you definitely can't ninja it.
No, I feel you just have to be in the party.
If you can't see their portal, then I wonder if you can actually add people.
I have a feeling that you probably can't see their portal, if I had to guess. So
then I wonder if you could add someone, like if you watch someone kill a chest and you can't see their portal, then they add you to the party. Does it just appear on your screen?
I think that would make a little bit more sense.
There's no sense in having a 10-minute timer if you can't then find people to go into the portal with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you gotta eat your wizard cookies. Sit down, regen your MP before going in.
Sure, 90 seconds.
Zelias in the chat saying that they said that you can pick up more people. So
okay.
There you go. But now we actually see them going through the actual treasure dungeon. There was a short lead-up hallway to this room that has a treasure chest in it. They when they click it, a whole bunch of mobs spawn, and they
murder them.
Obviously, beat the shit out of the Spriggans. And so you notice that there's a whole bunch of different doors that are in the zone that you can kind of choose to go to. Now, I mean, I kind of have to wonder, like, because I didn't catch all of the explanation, obviously, and we're still sort of waiting for a lot of the finer bits of information. A lot of times post interviews will happen for these things, like with Famitsu or Dengeki or something like that, and we don't know whether or not choosing a door is part of the game or not. I mean, can you imagine, like, they said that there's some RNG element to when you get kicked out, but can you imagine, like, if there's like an element where if you pick the wrong door, man, you're gone.
Just straight. I think
is that what they're implying?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Like one door takes you further, and the other door
stops.
If that's the case, that's a 1 in 64 chance of getting to the last room.
I think that's what that was right there. They just pressed the thing, and like a door just came down on it. Yeah,
and said no.
Yeah, see, that is kind of lame. I feel like there should just be really, really tough challenges or little puzzles that you have to do.
Oh, okay. See, the first one unlocks.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
They did say that there are also chances where you can open a door and get like a free room or something, though, right?
Well, it's if you select wrong, it kicks you out. If you select right, it'll allow you to progress.
Go to the next room, yeah.
Right. Which I mean, I think that's interesting, and I wonder if there's any additional context clues about like telling you which door would be the right one to select.
If you've just got a straight 1 in 64 chance of getting to the end, that kind of sucks.
You know what this is? It's fucking Funga, the door challenge.
I feel like a better way to do it, like if you choose quote the wrong door, then you have to fight like an additional wave or something, and then like you might run out of time before you get to the end.
Yeah,
that I mean, I think that if that
would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of a cool take on it. That one of the possible penalties is you get booted out. One of the possible.
Does their timer say 56 minutes?
It does. Yeah.
What?
Full hour is what you get to do these. Yeah.
Yeah, see.
Unless you choose wrong, in which that boots you out.
Yeah, see, if you're going to give a time limit, like I feel like if there's a chance you can just get straight up booted, there's no need for a time limit. If you're going to put a time limit, getting a negative door should instead take like 15 minutes off your time limit or something.
That'd be a lot better, I think.
So in this room, we obviously see that there's a big crab hiding behind the gate there.
What's a big crab? They pinch.
Hit it in its weak spot.
Massive damage.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, got all the memes.
Crab battle.
Is this only for purple dungeon?
For purple dungeon?
If you do
for purple.
For purple dungeon.
People. Like if you do a map with 8 people, can you not go into the?
It's only 4 people.
It's only 4.
Oh, that's
eye level 184 people.
No, you see,
sorry for people, I'm kicking you out.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem if you were in our free company, Nika, because then you can just gather up a bunch of minions, and when the portal pops, you just kick the 4 you don't like.
I don't.
Weakest DPS.
That's so mean.
I feel like we need to rename them minions. Because like there is already minions in the game as a thing.
LBR minions.
Yeah, no, but it's confusing.
Oh, instead of calling them minions.
Yeah. We got to find another name for them.
No, not vassals. That's not. I feel like that's
squires.
That's not degrading enough.
Yeah,
shit pickers.
LBR minions.
Stop it, Nika. I'll think of something better.
We got to.
I'll let you know by the end of the show what we're calling them.
Henchmen. I think
henchmen.
I like henchmen a little bit better.
Let's go with that for now. But I still think we can find something a bit more degrading.
I mean, goons. A goon is pretty overused at this point. Like a goon squad. Yeah, that's pretty overused.
Call them retainers.
I like henchmen.
Retainers.
Retainers.
That's the thing, is that there are retainers in the game, so it has to be something that you won't get confused if you say it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's peasants. Peasants. Fodder. I like Carla to suggest fodder.
That's pretty good. Red shirts. That's a pretty good one. Anyway, so we see the battle with the crab here.
Crab battle.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like pretty standard fare. I mean, none of these enemies look terribly interesting.
I wonder though if you get to the end, if it's like
if they get bigger and badder,
like something huge and scary, like a big.
They said there's a Cyclops at the end of it in the last one. Yeah, I wonder what he looks like.
Probably a Cyclops. I don't know.
But wait, they actually said there's a
he
Cyclops
only has
at
one
the end,
eye.
so it's It's not like it's random. It's like the first one's always the Spriggans and the second one's always this crab.
Oh, please not.
I was hoping, like, if you say there's a Cyclops at the end, that sounds like it's always the same. I was hoping that every time you do this, it'd be different.
Well, it might always be different, but the final boss might be the Cyclops.
That's kind of dumb.
A gimme fight. Who dies to Cyclops nowadays? Come on, really?
I think that it's cool. Like, it'll be a cool thing to do if there's a reason to do it.
I think all the like rare minions and Gil and stuff, I think it's probably going to be a good source of cash.
Yeah, but what are these drops though? Like, what are they getting out of this? Like,
it could be more crafting shit. I
haven't really recognized any of the items.
That last one looked like hard sap.
Crazy sand.
Or like.
Well, the thing about this is that, the RNG element, I think, makes it really popular with a lot of the players, and it's something that's easily expandable.
Right. Well, we know.
Wait a minute.
This,
wait a minute.
I feel like we've heard this before. So there are 7 rooms in total. And again, the chat, and we just mentioned the Cyclops. In the 7th room will drop Materia 5. It can spawn. It doesn't always spawn. There is a golden goblin that will flee from you. If you defeat it within 30 seconds, you get their gil. And the 7th room reward will always reward players with 100,000 gil each.
You see, now what else would they could have added besides just the time limit taking off thing, going through a door instead of just the straight up ejecting you? Bad door should just inflict status debuffs,
Yeah, heavy. 30 seconds heavy makes you lose more time.
No, fuck it. 30 fucking
They're
heavy.
heavy for the rest of the dungeon.
Well, we don't know.
FF7 battle zone.
We know that there are some. We know that there are some penalties associated with deep dungeons. So maybe they used that mechanic there, and they just didn't want to.
That would be cool. Click the
or
wrong
something.
door,
Yeah, I guess.
and you're
that's
literally like paralyzed or poisoned for the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah,
that would suck.
That would be awesome.
If it's not going to kick you out, the penalty needs to absolutely suck. Because if you can get 100,000 gil just for winning, you can't win every time, or you're going to see gil go through the roof.
I do like. Well, no, I think
No, don't think about it. This right now, you already have what, like 8 maps on you or something. If you get
half of those,
so that's 400k gil for like, what is this, like maybe 30 minutes?
But you have a 1 in 64 chance of getting it, and that's only a 20% chance of even going in.
But that's on top of everything else that you get prior to that.
Well, and it's a 50-50 shot of going in.
And like I think another important thing to keep in mind is that one of the problems that we identified with dungeons is that it's basically a foregone conclusion that you're going to go in there and win. Now with this actually creates a punishment mechanic where granted, if you choose wrong, you get booted. It is a pretty extreme mechanic, and it kind of feels shitty.
Feels bad, man.
My only thing with this,
it feels uninspired. Is really what it feels like.
It's not an interesting mechanic.
And the thing is like I don't know. There's just, as you guys have pointed out, there's other ways to do that makes it more interesting. But I think that it does in one way address a problem of like, oh, we're going into a dungeon, we're definitely going to win.
Yeah.
The idea of a foregone conclusion of a victory is.
How about if you click the wrong door? Whoever clicked the door gets booted. The other 3 get to stay.
I just
until
like
you're down to no one.
That's actually kind of cool too.
I like the idea of really, really harsh penalties, because it's one thing to say, oh, no, we got kicked, all right, it's over, and it's another to be like, fuck, they fucking gave us heavy,
they broke all of our accessories.
It is kind of, you know what,
the rage-inducing stories you would hear from this would be amazing.
My weapon broke.
I'm
no longer an astrologian.
If you just broke my weapon, it does 1 damage now.
You know what it does feel like? It does feel like an instant way mechanic.
That's essentially what it is.
That's essentially what it is.
And there's no way to really get upset over that.
It's a full failure mechanic. You're done, and you know like
that you can't even avoid.
Yeah, I think you know what? I think I agree with you guys that I like mechanics that do punish the player, but you've got to kind of suffer through those punishments.
Mm-hmm. This would be the equivalent of being like, all right, let's go do Titan Extreme, but at any moment he's randomly going to landslide in all directions. Good luck. Anyway, so interesting stuff about the Aquapolis there. Why is there no water?
Yeah, well, I mean, it does seem like it's
water
it seems like it's down in a sewer.
Maybe it's underwater.
So maybe
this is part of Alexander that's in the water.
Mute him. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah, that's
fine.
fair.
Maybe it's on the Garlean space station.
You know what? Makes a little bit more sense than your fucking Alexander bullshit.
So we've now seen Fenrir flying. I'm not going to bother showing off the video because.
Well, how does he fly? Does he get
seriously?
magic wings?
He runs on ice that he makes.
Yeah, he runs on. It's stupid.
On ice. I was gonna say I saw like a picture, but it was on my phone, so I couldn't really make anything out.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
No, it's not. We've also got confirmation of Raid Finder. So some details here. They did show it off. Again, I'm not going to bother showing it because most of it is in Japanese anyway, and they explained the most important parts. So it can be used for Savage Alex, and you don't have to talk to an NPC. It's basically kind of like set up like a duty finder is. Matching options, duty complete or duty incomplete. I think that this is based on whether or not you have completed it or not. So if you...
Yeah, if it's a progression party or a farm party.
Right. And I guess, yeah, that's a good way to delineate between the two. And you can't actually check the button until you have completed the task. That makes sense to me. So you can set it...
cheese in that.
You can also identify which phase that you're practicing. Now, some people, I think, initially thought, does that mean that if you want to specify that you're practicing the middle phase, that it'll skip the first phase for you? No, that is not what is happening. So you can basically, it's basically for the user, for the other person who's looking to join the party or to flag themselves for the finder, where they're at in their progression.
Right. Don't flag up to do the middle phase if you don't know how to clear the first phase.
Well, and it might be if it works like how I've kind of theorized the duty complete, duty incomplete would work. If you haven't even seen that second phase, you can't check it yet. That would make sense to me, and I think that would be a good way to do it and definitively keep.
Does the server actually keep track of that though? It's kind of interesting.
I don't think it would.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think that they could. If they programmed it into the new fights, and
especially
that would
like, what are the certain phases like in terms of Alex 5 Savage? He's just he goes small and big and small and big. Like I mean, we talk about phases based on which ads spawn, but I can't necessarily say it's like phase 2 or phase 3. It's like, oh, this is the phase where the Chimera spawns. And
well, I think
it's hard to determine.
I think now we'll actually see some definitions on that because the definitions will be coming from Square Enix themselves.
Yeah, it would require Essie to say, this is where phase 2 actually begins.
Right. For party when queuing as DF as duty complete, 2 tanks, 2 healers, 1 ranged physical DPS, 1 ranged magic DPS, 1 melee DPS, and 1 other DPS.
Ooh, and that's a hard, like, it has to be this?
It sounds like it, yeah.
I feel like that could be really... I mean, I guess if you're like looking for a bard, it would make it easier that way. But like,
this is
their practice, and you just need someone.
Well, they're talking about how the system will be matching you. Right, so you flag this like a duty finder, right? It's basically your solo queuing for Alex Savage, and so what it's going, the layout that you're going to get that it's going to automate is going to be 2 tanks, 2 healers, 1 ranged, 1 magic, 1 melee, and 1 random.
So if there are no bards queuing, though, it won't just put in another ranged magic. You'll literally sit there forever.
Well, and it takes the problem out of queuing and having nothing but monks. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't be good. As you have pointed out yourself, Nika, that you need a pretty well-balanced party to be able to take on most of these things. And so I actually think that this plays to the system's favor.
No, I agree, but then there are some nights where you're like, well, shit, we only have an hour till everyone has to go to bed. Like, anyone would be good at this point. Can you specify, like, literally anyone?
I don't know that you can even queue as a party. That's a...
really?
I don't know that. You may only be able to queue solo.
The whole reason I was excited for this is those nights where, like, our bard has something and they have to stay at work. And so we have 7 out of 8, and we're just like looking for a bard. I'd like to queue that up in the raid finder and just find that bard.
I have no idea.
It never specified.
Yeah, they didn't specify, and it doesn't doesn't look like you can specify.
But what's cool about this is it is a start, and it's easily expandable.
The chat says that you can queue as a party.
It doesn't
it says you can.
It doesn't have any RNG elements.
Well, maybe we should get some RNG elements. Maybe sometimes, just randomly, you'll get a bonus 9th player. That's hitting the jackpot.
But it's a machinist.
Oh.
It's Skuro.
That's like getting jackpot bar. No, but I think the idea, obviously you don't want to get like 4 monks, like you said, right? Or like 4 range. So obviously I think that they should do like the, 1 tank, 2 healers, blah blah blah, but it should just be like 2 range, 2 melees instead of just like no duplicates whatsoever. Because like Nika said, you don't want to sit there and fucking just wait forever because one bard isn't queuing.
You know what? I just want to address the chat who are shitting on us because they only skimmed this. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Go fuck yourselves, man. Go listen to another goddamn Final Fantasy XIV show and jerk off to them. I don't give a fuck.
Wait, they're calling us 7 hours ago? Not reading it?
I don't. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's not like that. This happened last night or anything. Go fuck yourselves. I don't give a shit if this is good enough for you or not.
Go jerk off to another.
I don't get honestly. If you want to sit here in the chat and shit on the show, fine, go ahead. But I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself. So
sorry, sir, you are going all Bilboey.
I know the official translation on the forums only says so much, and the fact that this literally happened like 7 hours ago.
Seriously, goddamn, guys!
You can only do so much before.
This is old news.
I give money to the show. Actually, you fucking don't. I know. Like
we know who you are.
We know who gives. Yeah, like shut the fuck up, man. God damn, dude. Yeah.
They're all saying they beat it before the show. They came prepared. Touche.
Oh God, you're such an asshole.
If you had the foresight for that, then you can continue to complain. You have my permission.
The same jobs will not be matched together only when queuing for duty complete. Same jobs will be matched if in practice or in full party. So let's talk about Frontline's Field of Glory. Or can we not talk about it? Chat room, are we not allowed to?
I think they want us to talk about this stuff, but we want like 100% clarity is what they're saying.
No, they want 100% accuracy. What like we were supposed to be up at 4:00, watch all of this, and then just pick apart everything from then till the show started.
Here's what I've decided. From now on, for the rest of this episode, as we're talking about things, I'm going to start saying stuff that I know isn't true. Good luck, fuckers.
So we did get a pretty interesting graphic preview and walkthrough.
It's graphic? Is there like gore and stuff?
No, it's a video.
Oh,
it's a video.
A graphic video though.
It has graphics.
Confirmed,
if that's what you mean.
Frontlines is extremely gory. Good luck.
Parental discretion is advised.
Yes. As online content is not rated.
Also, all of these little sons of bitches in the chat that want to try to shit on us. Why don't you call the show and try to shit on us instead of just typing it into a chat room?
Well, clearly they've read it already, so I don't even know why they're here.
Call and correct us.
Yeah. Well,
call and correct us.
Why the fuck are you here if you have already read? If you know better than us, what the fuck are you doing?
To correct us.
Kidding, obviously.
It's that whole nerd thing of like, oh, well, I know more than you didn't do your research, and so I'm going to correct you. It's the whole backseat gaming. This is the podcast equivalent of backseat gaming. You stupid motherfucker.
They're sitting there yelling, "Why do these people get their own show? I know more than them. I should have my own show."
Go make your own show, dumb shit.
I don't have people giving me money to make my own show.
Okay, guys. Field of Glory.
Make something that's worth giving money to.
Is he seriously giving a speech right now?
So, all right.
I don't even know who's the guy shitting on us. I'm not even paying attention.
PMAC.
Oh. Something Wong as well.
Oh, and something.
But he says he likes to shit on us.
He says we're here because we like to shit on you and we like the show.
Oh, well, that's nice. Go fuck yourself.
I'm enjoying these graphics and these circular portal-looking things.
Is that the fucking Stargate?
Yes, that's the Stargate.
That's it.
What's interesting about this is Korthus. We see some very distinctly Korthan architecture, and then it's not covered in snow. There's only bits of snow.
I didn't realize that
well,
was
it's because
green.
Shiva's dying.
Yeah.
No, I think this is around these little portal things is radiating heat, so it is melted
that's
snow.
possible too.
You might.
Science. Wait, nope, that one. Look, that one. There, it isn't. So no, you're wrong, Nika. That one has snow around it.
Woman.
Damn, I tried.
It does. I mean, it brings it. I liked Woody's headcanon for this, and because it's called Fields of Glory, that it happens around Camp Glory, which is it was
I want a PvP with you.
That was a point in Eastern Korthus.
Oh, I see. You were continuing the lyrics. Yeah. I gotcha. Woody made it funny.
You done?
Yeah.
I know.
You guys want to go? You guys want to go out the studio and jerk each other off? Because I mean,
look, I haven't read it, so what else am I supposed to talk about?
So I have to wonder where exactly in Korthus this is taking place. And again, I like the suggestion that Camp Glory may be where it is.
Does that look like any old zone from 1.0 that you're familiar with?
Well, what's interesting here, I mean, if you look at the map that we're provided, it does look a little bit like an island, but it's not. We do have some land connections over here where the Gridania people will spawn in. There's a big land connection over here near the Maelstrom and another one down here towards the south. So this is a landmass somewhere, but I don't. In terms of recognizing
it's hard to say about 1.0 areas because a lot of 1.0 was just reskinned, copied over and over and over again, and that was people's complaints that they've changed for 2.0. So I feel like even if this was a redo of a 1.0 zone, it'd be hard to tell.
You know what? We've gone over this in the past that they are very meticulous. The dev team is they're very, very meticulous about making sure that places sort of even mostly line up. There's a couple. There have been a couple of edits that they've made.
I was going to say, what happened to like the Southern Korthus or whatever?
Well, hold on, because I think it would be really interesting is if the starting points, if this was a place, in the world, if the starting points directly corresponded to where your army would be marching from the place, where you came from, but with the way that Seal Rock went, you randomly spawned at one of 3 places. You don't think that they would have repeated that in here? Because I think, personally, that was one of the cool things and the balanced things about Seal Rock, because a lot of people, as dumb as they fucking were, complained that in the old Frontlines battle, that certain people, based on where they spawned, had a disadvantage, even though it was all the fucking same.
Well, I mean, if they put the flags on the map like that tells me that it's something that's kind of permanent.
No, they can change where the flags are.
Yeah, they did that in Seal Rock.
Yeah,
yeah, you open up the map, your flag is where you started.
I don't know. I mean, it's anyone's guess then.
I prefer random starting areas, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Even if it makes more lore sense to start from one place, who gives a fuck? It's PvP, bro. Do you even?
Well, and that's the thing is that, I mean, because it's PvP, I think people just sort of write it off a little bit.
But I've always liked that the PvP still fits into the lore.
Yes.
They don't just it's not just PvP to PvP.
For PvP's
it
sake,
actually makes sense in the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
That's
the
always been
coolest
really
part
cool
about this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Finding anything there, Annie? I see you're looking over some old maps.
Yeah, I'm looking over the old Korthus Eastern Lowlands map
Maybe
here.
we've dug out where Korthus was buried, and that's where this is.
Well, not us. I mean, we hired Rogadins because that's all they're good for. But somebody did.
Shut up.
Well, to be fair, they're not even good at that.
All right, so here's the old 1.0 Korthus Eastern Lowlands map. We see here Griffin Crossing. That's where we had the confrontation with Greg.
Can you point out to us where Camp Glory is specifically?
Camp Glory is right here. It's right, dead in the center. And if
glory hole.
If you compare that to what we see here,
it's not far off.
I don't know. I'm not seeing.
I'm not really.
I'm not seeing many similarities between the two.
Could have really messed up that area.
I suppose
it's possible. It's possible, but to me, like this side of the map here, that seems to be some sort of like cut off, right? Like that seems to be something that's a little bit more identifiable. So unless, I mean, I guess depending what is all out
if
here.
It's like waterfront or not.
Yeah, if that's coast, because it could be a coastline. If that's just the end of the map and there's more land that exists beyond that, maybe at a lower elevation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's all speculation. But in terms of like trying to match. Match this part of a coast up to the 1.0. I'm not seeing anything.
It couldn't be a coastline. I mean, I could definitely see that fitting in there, but there's no identifying marks that say for certain if it is or isn't.
It could be. I mean, it could be just the general area of Camp Glory. We've got Miller's Field down here to the south.
Which it could fit into.
It's sort of. Yeah, it's actually. We've got this little part that jets out. That would be all coastline there. I think that
but like
that's
said, the Calamity could have easily smashed part of that off into the water, and that's why you have like that little sort of step down there in the corner of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of looks like that part.
I'm wondering if it might be Miller's Field. That seems like a much more likely candidate than where the Aetheryte was for Camp Glory.
Yeah, the only thing that throws it off is the bodies of... Well, they might not be bodies of water, but on the actual map for the...
Those are not bodies of water. Those holes are, like, a lot of times that was like a hill or like a rock.
On the PvP map, too?
Oh, on the PvP map? That I'm not sure of. I'm not totally sure of. But you're right that doesn't totally line up. But it's not going to.
Right, true.
It does look like there's other elevations to the side, and like in one of those, the hole at the northeast part, it kind of looks like there's another elevation there.
Right. We'll keep the video going and get the 1.0 map off the screen. But yeah, I mean, and then you've got these crystals that sort of look a little bit like raw aetheryte. You know what I mean? Like they look like an aetheryte crystal, because I mean it's got rotating shards around it like aetheryte crystals do, but they just don't have any of the Charlayan apparatuses on it.
I love how someone's like, you know what? This map-centric episode's going to be great on the podcast. And someone's like, no, you know what? Screw you. The map-centric episodes are awesome.
So I just, oh, here we go. We get a nice big panoramic shot. Panoramic shot.
So probably
of the whole
not
zone
lakes.
Right here.
Yeah.
And it does. I mean, I'm not seeing any coast, although I guess it could be more towards where we're not seeing. We've got some.
Oh, there's some lake.
We got a river. That's a river. I mean,
it's more of a stream, I'd say.
No,
and you've got this fucked up like fort over here too, the ruins of a fort, and I have to wonder if that's going to correspond to anything. But I mean, it's cool that it is going to be Corthan. Mm-hmm. That this is based in Corthus, because I mean I was getting a little bit tired of zones in Heavensward that weren't tied to Corthus at all. Corthus is one of the best zones.
Seeing this zone like this, I want to give some praise to Square Enix, because a lot of times where I'll say like, oh well, in WoW they did this, and to their credit that was pretty good. Why can't they? Blah 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 blah. When it comes to designing PvP zones, what Square Enix has given us is actually pretty fucking cool, and does tell a lot more of a story than any PvP zones in any of the other MMOs that I've played. A lot of the ones in World of Warcraft, for example, are really uninspired. They're basically set up just to be used for a PvP matchup, and these things are really nice. These are really cool to look at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's a nice big map again, like the Seal Rock map was. But again,
a lot of places to hide stealthed.
See, like, I felt like Seal Rock was like such a better legend than when it was an actual place that we could go, because like once it became a place, it's sort of like, oh, we're never gonna get any lore related to Seal Rock or Swallowtail Rome ever again. Mm-hmm. And I think that it may, like in some ways, once we concretely get it, it does close the lore book in some ways. And especially being attached to PvP, like there isn't much chance for expansion or, to expand on that zone.
Really quick, just to answer someone's question in the chat, Rugal144 is a bit concerned it'll be GC restricted. It will be. Front lines is all in relation to the Grand Company, so anything that's front lines will be Grand Company restricted.
Yeah, all of those people who, have bomb-ass, feast parties and stuff like that, you might be queuing against those people unless you all chose the same,
the correct free company of the Flames.
So they showed off some flower pots.
Woo! I want
an aquarium.
Does anyone care? Does anyone care? Aquarium for my fucking house.
There have got to be some FF11 veterans who are seeing flower pots and just having nightmare flashbacks of having to log in every day to take care of your flowers.
Well, but they said this way you can have personal little gardening and not have to do the whole free company gardening. They said that it was more personal.
Yeah, we knew that was coming, right? Like they've talked about that for a bit.
They announced it before that it was personal, in your room gardening.
Right. Yeah.
Who cares? I have people who can do my personal gardening for me.
But not if the flowers are EX.
Yeah, and it also depends on what free company you're in and who does the gardening, and if they want.
I'm not talking about other people's free company. I'm talking about my free company where our lackeys do what they're supposed to do.
Flowers can be picked and crafted to use as glamour in your hair.
How do we like lackeys, guys, or flunkies?
I like henchmen.
I think I'm still leaning towards henchman.
Okay.
Henchman.
All right.
We've got some. We've also got some crafting and gathering changes. Somebody want to read this off?
Not really.
All right.
Well,
Scalia,
somebody fucking has to.
Thank you for volunteering.
All right. So we're gonna have shared gear for crafting classes. Patch 3.4 is gonna include gear that can be crafted and melded with materia or gear exchanged with red scripts. Are gonna be set with high stats. New tools, belts, and accessories are going to be coming in 3.3, making adjustments to obtain blue scripts. We'll have increased gathering spots, because apparently people didn't have enough. Increasing scripts earned when turning in items, and we'll be boosting experience points. I don't do crafting or gathering, so...
None of us do.
No.
I do a little.
Is that exciting for you, Nico? Any of that?
Not really.
Okay.
Guess how I'm going to level all my crafting jobs?
Because scripts are honestly really, really annoying to get.
Are they?
So I just stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they really kind of misstepped with the whole script thing.
There's a whole rotation and shit. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah, fuck that.
Crafting rotation,
Oh,
yes.
God, fuck that.
No, there really
Do we have crafting dummies so that we don't have to waste shit trying to perfect our rotation?
No, there really are crafting rotations for things. Like, if you don't use the right skills, you're going to run out of CP real fast.
Yeah.
Crafting, it has its own... I'm talking about the gathering the scripts has its own fucking rotation.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck all that.
It was bad. I stopped after, like, one
Oh.
time.
That's like, that's shit that I did to, like when I was bored. I don't want to actually have to, like, play.
I was going to say, do you guys remember at the beginning of Heaven's Ward when SE made steps so that crafting would become more accessible to people? And I've never wanted to not do it so much in my life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're so excited about worthless garbage.
You want this too?
Yeah.
Fucking even Mithri says don't do scripts.
Jeez. Well, yeah.
That really just says
Mithri
it all,
would know.
doesn't it?
Mithri would know too. So we also got shown a couple of pieces of upcoming glamour. Now, obviously, we saw the pig costume that was right there at the
Yeah, we
start.
can dab,
I'm
sweet.
honestly, I'm so getting sick of the cutesy bullshit between Yokai Watch or whatever the fucking pig
This
thing
is
is.
from Final Fantasy Tactics, though.
I don't care.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's a fucking pig. Give us fucking cool glamour.
It's an Uribo, okay?
They do. The cool glamours are from the Veteran Awards where they give us, like, Zidans and Syrians.
No, come on. That's even, I think that in a lot of ways that's even worse. That just, it encourages, like
if they're dyeable, so you can make them a little bit more original, mix and match them with stuff, that's fine. But when they're not, like the Wild Rose shit, I'm never going to wear that.
Right. And
Clouds was dyeable.
Which is even worse. Why are some of them dyeable and some aren't?
One of the best aspects of of an MMO is feeling like you are sharing a world with a whole bunch of other people. And I don't know, like when you get queued into a dungeon with a dude that, like the 7th dude that day that looks like fucking Cloud, it gets fucking boring. Like I don't know. I just feel like it just plays to the nostalgia though. I have to say that I like that Nath armor.
The Beastman armor is gonna actually be really cool.
Yeah.
And I hope that none of this is tied to specific jobs.
I would be happy if that Nath armor was tied to ninja only.
I think it's probably just tied to your rank in the Beastman.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, honestly,
I bet crafters are gonna have to craft that shit.
Motherfuck.
I just want to. I want to see how the pieces pair with with some other stuff. Like I'm kind of excited about the glamour potential there.
No, that's the Nath armor is actually the new crafting gear.
All right, so
now
question for you, Aniero.
Now we're into the Makai gear. This is
you like the Nath armor, right?
Yeah.
Would you consider replacing your Odin helm for the hat?
Maybe. It depends. I don't know. I'd have to.
It can't
because
be on
it is
your Dark Knight.
No, it's on a full. I mean, it is a full face mask. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So
it
it
is.
still hides your face.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Well, right. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. I think it could be cool. Again.
That looks dumb. The arms are cool.
You don't like the ninja gear there?
It's not ninja gear.
I think it is. I think those were daggers on his belt, bro. There's the tank gear.
Oh, is this supposed to be like the new whatever the next tomes are gear?
No, this is from the new Void Arc step.
The new okay.
So I mean, in your guys' opinion,
Psalm All gear.
I think they straight up said that this is Void Arc.
Void Arc.
Yeah. that this is
that
the new
tank
Makai
gear
set.
just looks like a paladin's wearing a tabard.
I like it, though.
I like that.
I'm
that
not.
tank piece.
I'm not really a fan of the tank piece, although I think it does look like the Ironworks.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
it
what I was
does.
gonna say. Yeah. But I love the
It would be
Ironworks
cool
set.
if you can dye it, but I doubt you can.
I doubt you can either.
Is this the apology for the Tanks Ironworks set? It's like, okay, here's your real Ironworks set, Tanks. Sorry about the bucket.
120 eye levels later, you finally get that made up to you.
No, I hope that's the helmet. I hope we see Bucket 2.0. That would be awesome.
With just less textures. It's just a literal iron bucket.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, like Iron Tarkus.
Yeah!
Dude, like, seriously, though, I do think that the gear design is a step in the right direction from the last Void Arc, though.
Yeah. Just
it's
because
not
it's different.
It's not all patently terrible. Like, the ninja stuff, I can understand why you guys may not like it, but I thought that was okay. Tank stuff I'm not in love with, but I can understand, like, if you were going for a paladin-y vibe, that's
what
way
it
more
is.
paladin-y, yeah. So I do think that in general it's a step in the right direction, but I'm still very underwhelmed by all of the gear attached to Void Arc.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and that, to me, that is kind of a bummer.
That tank set is the first piece I've objectively just said I like that piece.
Okay,
You know what I liked, but also, I mean, I feel like as much as people dislike the Circus Tower armor, it was actually the armor from the bosses. So I thought that was kind of cool because it actually like tied into the event itself. As silly as it was the armor from the bosses. Like, this stuff just feels like I want to be a moody teenager and emo.
My biggest problem with armor is I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've seen through Void Arc, even through Heaven's Ward, like you could take any of it and that could just be armor from anywhere. It's very uninspired and nothing really screams out anything at me like what original like AF or Relic did.
Yes.
You know, like I feel
it's just trying to be dark.
Yeah, I mean, even when you look at our current lore stuff, which is all inspired after the primals, I still feel like you should look at a ninja and be like, "That's a fucking ninja," you know?
Right.
That's a fucking Dark Knight.
Except the problem is that that's all stuff for roles. Like,
I know
all the tanks have to share that gear, so they have to make one that just looks tanky.
And that's the problem, is that you have a light tank and a dark tank.
Yeah.
I mean, they do it with certain tome gears, though. I mean, like, for whatever reason, they decided not to for these tomes, for lore tomes. But the ESO tomes, they were job specific.
Yeah, no, I think that if they wanted to, but they had to do that, though, so that Dark Knight and Machinist and Astrologian could get something that they could call, job specific,
Their
or
own.
artifact or whatever, something that definitively defines the job. They had to find a step for that somewhere, and remember, we even had to wait for that, which is dumb.
Yeah.
So while I understand that, I don't know. I guess I'd like to see, to see, like, I don't know, like, more interesting armor designs that break the mold, because I feel like a lot of stuff is very paladin focused. And in terms of, like, if you wanted to make graphically a Dark Knight, that there are kind of limited options that you have. But that's I'm speaking from a very biased place there. And if you don't want your characters to look all emo, that's my suggestion is not the way you want to go. There's a bunch of planned UI changes. There's going to be a recommended gear button. There's going to be a HUD save function that can save up to 4 HUDs and can be macroed. I think that's
so
pretty
cool.
I think that's pretty fucking cool.
That's good. Yeah, especially for healing, because I know for healing, I like to have the party chat more closer to the center, or the party list and stuff like that. It's gonna be so much easier to be able to just swap HUDs and not have to deal with.
I can see also using it like we talked about earlier, when you're changing phases in a boss fight, you might swap your HUD out.
Yeah, I mean,
based on what you need.
I think that's I like the fact that it's macroable. I think is very cool.
Good foresight on their part.
Yeah,
for once.
So the draw quality option for PS4 is going to be added. And I think that's probably in conjunction with the PS 4.5 and the upped graphical capacity that can come with that. And I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe they've just tuned the thing a little bit better. But I've never really noticed. I always thought the draw distance was pretty decent for the PS4. Partial match added to the market board search.
Oh my God. Thank you.
You can search for part of the name instead of searching from the beginning of the word of the item. This is huge.
Except I've been conditioned just to do grade 5G for whenever I need glamour crystals.
Well,
no, I do that too.
I mean,
I can't change now. I am set in my ways.
I sort of feel like this is like a crazy quality of life change to be adding this late.
Yeah, it does seem weird to come now, but it'll be nice to be like, I guess if you're like doing stuff with your Mog house, you'd be like, oh, chandelier. I want a chandelier. I don't know. You don't have to know, not needing to know the exact name of what you want, and just being able to like use that to browse different items.
I should be able to spell a word wrong, and it knows what I am looking for. Because I mean, do we really know how to spell Mandragora all the time?
Yeah.
M-A-N.
That was rhetorical.
A.
Rhetorical.
And then you hit enter.
But you should type Mandy. You should be able to type Mandy and get Mandragora.
Oh, now so that's just dumb. That's not how searching works, Nika.
New mention.
It does on the internet. If you type Mandy FF11,
yeah, it needs to be at least as because I
Common Core English, everyone.
I go to goddamn Google to correct my spelling. I should be able to go to the market board to get figure out how it's spelled. So there's going to be new mentor icons added. One for PvE, trade, and PvP.
Oh, that might be cool.
Mentors.
Well, I mean, Joe Never Fails has got to have something.
It's just his. He's the only one.
That would be so
just set aside
icon.
For him.
It's got a big JNF for the icon.
There you go. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. Although I have to wonder how exactly you're going to be able to flag it. So
I mean, I assume you may probably have to have done and also have won a certain amount of PvPs and participated in so many. Like, probably gotten to a certain rank in PvP. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the trade one is going to probably be the most busy, because anyone who wants to do that is going to like seek out anyone with trade.
Right.
I'm definitely going to wear the crafter gatherer one and never craft or gather.
You have to have done 5,000 collectibles to have it.
What?
Wow.
Oh,
I've done like 30.
He's lying.
You're just making shit up.
He's lying, you guys. Don't believe him.
No, he read that somewhere. I'm sure of it.
But it's probably going to be something high like that, though.
PvP preset actions, gear sets for PvP actions. The game checks for cheats every time you change action set, thus a loading bar. So I'm not sure if this is something that they're going to address. I don't actually even know. I just read those words off the page. I have no idea what that means. Does anyone?
The new preset feature will store PvP actions set on the job. This is similar to the gear set feature where you can store up to 5 sets. However, unlike the gear set, the feature present will require some time to switch action sets.
Oh, okay.
This is done to avoid exploits.
I see. That makes sense.
That's cool.
Order of jobs can be customized in a party list. That's good. I'm sure healers will be big on that.
I thought that was already a thing in the settings. You could click if you wanted to be tanks first or healers first, or that was already in the thing.
Now you can sort it however you want. You can put a DPS, a healer, a DPS, and then a tank if you want.
So can't you just go to your party list and move people around?
It's there so we can always put Skiro at the bottom.
Last to get healed.
Speaking of which, I need to remove him from the link shell to make sure he's at the bottom. It's been a while.
So there's going to be adjustments to the idle camera, but not what I was really hoping.
Not good ones.
So it's going to be you can engage it now when you're engaged in battle. I'm really not sure why.
So people are going to be able to go AFK in battle and get sweet pictures. Get caught up on what they missed while they were gone.
Wait, no, okay, I'm still going back to that. I know you could move people around, because in T13, I would always put Surin directly under me so I could cover him really quickly. I know that's a thing. You could totally do that.
Was Surin your tank?
No, he's the monk. And I was a tank, and I would put him right under me because I would have to cover him when he would do the little things Bahamut would shoot and leave the puddles on the ground, and I would put him right under me so I could cover him quickly. I know you can do that.
I think you're making this up, Nika.
Maybe he's just taking credit for things they've already done.
I remember screaming at Surin, like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I forgot to move you, so I missed my cover and I covered the other tank by accident. Like, I remember saying that. So I know you can do it.
I don't know. I think it's a light patch, and SC's trying to take credit for things they've already done.
I'm not inclined to believe you because everyone in this room isn't believing you, and you're a woman, so you're known to make things up.
I know. I used to have, like, when you enter a zone, it auto sorts. And then I remember telling Siren, I have to put, every time we enter a zone, I have to put him underneath me so that I could cover him. And then there were some times where I would mistakenly forget to move him, and I would cover the other tank by accident.
Okay, are you sure?
I'll figure it out. I will figure it out.
Are you sure this isn't like some kind of like weird ERP thing where you have to put Siren under you so you can cover him?
See, okay, PMAC is saying there's an arrow on the party bar that lets you move party members up and down. You can do that.
Okay.
Well, then,
way to go, SC.
Okay.
All right.
Why are we spending 10 fucking minutes on this?
Sorry, it was bothering me because I knew I was right.
Well, it's bothering Nika, so let's talk about it.
Okay, keep going.
I was going to talk about the idle camera, but I feel like that's just kind of gone.
Can we go back to the party list? I really like that discussion.
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. I don't have anything else to add. Nika, what do you got?
Maybe Nika wants to say something.
So what were you hoping for though with the idle cam?
Well, the idle cam, I want to be able to designate where the idle cam shouldn't go. For example, like in our house, there's like, if you could somehow tell it to like just
turning furniture off, only focus on people would be more than enough.
Yeah, that would be a good start. That would be a good start.
Idle cam.
I mean, because like we have the most pervy idle cam in Eorzea. I swear to God, it's
my God. I just realized how we could bring back fapping the realm. During our shows, they need to take a screenshot of the most pervious picture they can.
Oh, I like that.
And then hashtag us on Twitter with it.
With fapping the realm.
Yeah.
Hashtag panty shot cam.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Juxta, you need to stop installing the cameras in all of the tables. Like, it's
Why?
Because I gave you the cameras to install around the studio, but like they didn't need to go inside of all of the table legs.
Okay, well, we have plenty of cameras, and I got everywhere around the room, so...
And technically, underneath the tables is still around the studio.
Yeah, it's still around.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's like 7 of them in the shower room.
It keeps going back there. I mean, just like, even if there was an item that you could place in your house, that it would know to like, within a certain radius, not to, focus the idle cam on anything in there.
Well, if they're going to do that, then they better add more fucking inventory slots for furniture, because I don't want to waste them on fucking, hey, iCam, don't go here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. So we also got, I guess, group pose. Friends, free company, Ivory Chapel states, increased camera tilt, I guess. And then new auto-translate options for battle strategies, which I feel like is not going to get used a whole lot because, we've got regional servers. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used the translate in this game at all.
Not even once. And I was actually thinking about that because in FF11, remember how many great jokes and memes and shit came out of auto-translate? And
the only one I use in this one is I seem to have misplaced my keyboard. That one's
the best one.
We're chewing the fat. That was the only one that I...
Oh, we don't use that.
No, we don't. But, I mean, like, it would be nice... if there was a reason to use them. I mean, I understand why you go with region servers, but it's just like, man,
Mithra Paladin looking for Sandworm.
It really is just like a foregone function of this. Like Mithra
Fun Hole. There
like,
you go.
Really,
That's
the only people who even use it as they only ever use it as a joke, and when they do, it's because they were FF11 players.
Right.
Like anyone who came to this game from FF,
bring
just
back
original.
the meme, Square Enix.
That's weird.
Place gun inside trousers, pull back trigger, goodbye left ball. That's my favorite.
So we got some details on the next leg of the Anima quest. The item grind to feed weapon to increase the stats. Per item, it's +3. Items may have +4 or +5.
What does that mean?
When you use it, there's a chance, like the baseline is 3, but sometimes you might get lucky and it'll give 4 or 5 instead.
And the cap is, for each parameter, is 120, apparently.
The max stat total is 228, about 76 items. The new weapon will be equivalent to the same eye-level weapon with 3 grade 5 materia. This is an interesting...
That's quite a bit. So it's like putting 3 grade 5s on your weapon, and I'm sure there will still be sockets. No, we don't, because we don't have sockets on our relic yet, do we?
No, there's no sockets on the relic.
Which, I mean, like, I don't know, man. This kind of, like, does this mean that we're not getting an eye level bump?
What did it say our item level
No,
was?
it just says that the new weapon's going to be equivalent to other weapons of the same eye level.
Okay.
However,
I thought they were implying that it's the same eye level that we have now.
No, I think it means the weapon of the same eye level, it will be the equivalent, except the crafted one or whatever needs to have 3 grade 5 material to be as good as this one.
Oh, okay. That's not the way that I read it. I read that as it is right now, it's a 230 or 240 right now.
240. No, yeah, 240.
It's 240. All right. I thought it was saying that it will be the equivalent to a 240 with
that's what I
3
thought.
grade 5s, but we'll probably still get a bump. But actually, I think Nika's makes more sense. It'll be the same. So if it bumps it to, let's say, 250, right?
Yeah.
It'll be the equivalent of the 250s if they had 3 grade 5 materials in them.
So where is this going to put anima weapons in the scale of, like
Savage Might?
Savage.
Maybe it's only 230.
Yeah, it's only 230 now. It's going to go to 240, right?
I think they could put it at 240, or hell, they could even put it at 245. Because here's the thing: it's still going to take a long shitty ass time to get to that item level. So it's not like when it releases suddenly, oh, now the Savage weapons are invalid.
Well, we've still got another leg of Savage to go.
We do,
and then after that, they'll be pulling the item level to be square with that. Or I think that they said that they're going to make the raid weapons outclass it by 5 eye levels, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I feel like
that should be normal.
You could put it at 245, and then the next patch would introduce the next Savage weapons, which would be like what, 255, 265 maybe.
The Savage weapons right now are 240 or 245. Right?
245.
So the next run of Savage would be probably what, 265?
That would make sense. I mean, there's got to be an eye level push in the next patch, so
it'll probably be 240.
Well, keep in mind that we're going to be taking our gear from 230 to 240 because now with the next leg of Void Arc, it's going to be unlocking your gear time. So that's, like we're going to be pushing our eye level in that respect, or at least the casuals will be. And then with 3.4, we should get our next eye level push.
Yeah. It'll probably be the Savage weapons. The lore weapon will probably go to 240. We're also going to be able to upgrade our lore gear. So the lore weapon, did I say lore? The relic weapon will probably go to 240. Then we'll get whatever item it is to upgrade the lore weapon to 240 as well.
Right.
And then when
you don't think that we're just going to get a whole new lore weapon, like a whole new tome weapon with the next patch?
The next patch, yes. I'm talking about this one right now.
Oh, okay.
We'll be able to upgrade all of our crap,
right,
to 240 as well. So we'll have the lore and relic at 240. You'll have the Savage weapon at 245. Then when 3.4 comes out, probably 265 for the new Savage weapon. We'll be able to upgrade the relic to 250. We'll get a new tome weapon at 250, and then near the end of the patch, again, upgrade again to. So the lore, the tome weapon and the relic weapon are probably going to stay on an even footing.
Well, with the raid weapon edging out by 5 eye levels,
and hopefully at like the end of the expansion, the relic edges out.
Yeah, that's what happened at the end of the last one. But with the very, very last leg of the relic, the stats were just way higher than an equivalent eye level weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They were just better.
So
I'm assuming that.
See, I don't mind the relic being the same item level as the tome weapon, so long as the work you put into it edges it out stat wise. Because then that does still give you a little bit of a benefit of having done the relic weapon.
Well, yeah, because that's always kind of the benefit. Yeah, is being able to allocate the stats that are on there. The customization aspect is a pretty big deal. And because I saw a lot of I was watching the chat before the show started and looking at a lot of the reactions and a lot of the negative reactions surrounding this next step of the anima and trying to kind of wrap my head around like why people were so dissatisfied with it, because to me it does make sense. I think that there should I still think that there's still should have been 2 steps or even a longer grind in the last anima step that we got. And we don't know whether we're going to get another step in 3.35 because remember, this is the first time that we've seen an anima step actually fall on a patch proper. They've all been on 0.5 patches.
You know what I would be okay with? And obviously I'm not allowed to talk about this because I don't raid, but I think it would be fine if 3.3 takes it to 240 and then 3.35 puts it at 245 even with the savage weapons. I think by that point, that should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Nika, you actually raid endgame. Would you be okay with Filthy Casuals having a equivalent item level weapon to yours that you don't have because you're only on
basic? Shut up. I know, but like I'm fine with that. But I think I honestly feel like the relic. I mean, we've all talked about this before. That the relic should always be the best, and it should just be really hard to get. Like, I don't see the relic, it's called a relic because it's a fucking amazing, rare, crazy weapon, but yet it's not.
I sort of liked, again, I'm going to go back to my suggestion where I think if you have the relic that's fully upgradable to wherever it's going to end up being by the end of your expansion cycle, if you have that upgradable right out of the gate from the word go, and you just start to ease the requirements as the patches go on, that's the best way to accomplish that, because you're working towards a predetermined goal that you've set out already, and you're just giving people the ability to grind past that. Now, the grind should be insane.
It should be hard and tedious.
Yes,
5,000 Lords of Verminion wins.
Well, like maybe 3 people will complete it before the first ease.
Yes, exactly. But it's flat out brick walling and saying there's nothing that you could do to get past this step until we decide it's time. I think that that's a bad way to do it, because then you have all of this, this capitulating back and forth on, where the relic weapons should fall in terms of their strength or their power versus the raid weapons, and this would give a clear incentive for people to continue grinding or continue working on those raid weapons in downtimes like this. Like, dude, the last 3 weeks I've been begging for anything to do. There's no reason for me to get on and grind dungeons outside of when my lore is capped. There's no fucking reason for me to do that.
Yeah.
And with the relic step being over so quickly that it just has left me with an absence of things to do. And if there was a way to grind past that, or at least make my way into it, get a leg up on it for the next patch, I so would take advantage of that. I really, really would. And I just think that that's the best way to do it, is to have it, if you want to be
how you could get an advantage for the next patch, though?
Raid.
Savage.
Raid Savage. Oh, she just wrecked you, Aniero.
Because you can get the upgrade items early, and you can get 240 weapons from them.
Yeah, why don't I just put my dick in a paper shredder too? Do you know, like,
it would fit?
Oh! Okay, then I have a question for all of you people, because when
all of you people, what does that mean?
As in the non-raiders. As in the non-raiders.
Arigato, racist.
Oh, playing the raid card.
I am. All of you expressed interest when Minus Normal came out, and you said that it was fun. All of you said that it kind of piqued your interest for maybe trying the Savage mode. Have any of you even tried it?
No.
So were you lying?
No. Lost interest.
You all said you had interest in it because the mechanics were so much more fun than Gordius.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen any of you.
Yeah, because the problem is for me, the premise of raiding is still the same. Take your face and bash it against this encounter, this same exact thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
For the same results until you beat it.
Let me ask you a question, Nika. Are you still tossing that gear out at 3.5?
I don't know.
Yeah, because the next turn of Coil is going to be coming out, and you'll have tone gear. Yeah, you're going to be pitching all of that shit. So,
but why? But if that's your mentality, then you should just unsubscribe from the game. No, because everything you do in the game will be outclassed eventually.
Oh no. Yeah. Let's just shut the whole channel down, and I'll just pack up my shit and go home.
So that's what I'm saying. No, obviously, you do it because it's fun, not necessarily because 2 patches from now you're not going to use this shit.
Okay, anymore. No, there you go. Exactly. Was the current turn of Midas fun? Was Midan fun? Absolutely, it was. Does going into Savage increase that fun? Does it add any new fun to it?
I honestly think it does.
No, I don't think it does.
Have you tried it?
Because I am not interested in that mentality of thinking and that style of gameplay where it's doing the same thing over and over again when the only reward I'm getting out of it is a higher item level.
How about this, Nika? I will issue a challenge to you.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
I'll issue a challenge to you. If you play Dark Souls, I will start Savage rating. I'm serious, because you have expressed that that's not your style of gameplay. It has the potential to really irk you and get under your skin. I just went through a whole 180 on Dark Souls, where I went from fucking despising it to loving it. Okay,
I don't hate it. I watch Surin play it. It's not my type of game.
It's not your type. I respect Savage, but it's just not my type of play.
Exactly.
No, well, okay, and then that's fair, but I'm saying that all of you said that Midas Normal had made you interested in maybe trying Savage because it was so fun, but then none of you did try it. That's what I was asking. Because you all kind of said that you're kind of interested, and then nobody did.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. You can be kind of interested in something and then decide, nah, you know what, nothing's really changed.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, I have fun in doing Duty Finder with, like, people and stuff like that, but there's not going to be any additional joy from me by going into Savage mode. And you want to know how I know that? Because now when we go in, like now, almost 14 weeks on, people are still fucking wiping us to brute justice, and I want to fucking ban them from all forms of Limit Break Radio that I can, because they're terrible. And you want me to go into Savage with these people?
You don't go into Savage with like random Duty Finders.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about random Duty Finders. I'm talking about people from our free company. But you're right. I should go in with them
all right.
because they're casuals. I should probably go in with all the other raiders that are so plentiful on our server. In order for me to actually give a go at trying Savage, I'd have to go to Gilgamesh or Goblin or whatever the fuck.
Well, there's 4 of you in the room right there who all said you were positively
interested. And 2 of us are ninjas.
Yeah. Okay. And one of us, Juxta, how many hours do you think you've logged on to FF14 in the last week? Right. Like,
I haven't either, but I still am rating.
Yeah, but
he literally doesn't have the time.
Well, Juxta literally doesn't have the time, or the like his back will not
capacity to sit down.
Right. Yeah. Like that's the thing is that like Juxta did have all of these streaming plans and like stuff that he wanted to do on stream. Got his job, hurt his back, and I mean all of that has kind of been in flux.
I totally understand real life obligations. Like, don't get me wrong.
No, but I'm just saying like it's again, it's not a style of play that really
resonates with us.
Yeah, I mean,
so when we have all these other things piling up,
when you sit here and complain about how there's nothing to do, and when you all said that there was an interest previously, why not try it?
Right, I think the question that I get what she's asking is like Alexander Midas did pique our interest in rating, but none of us kind of took the step to go for it.
But I don't think you have to. I think just because something piques your interest, you don't have to do it for that interest to be dismissed.
But I think the question is what kept us there? What said like, well, my interest is piqued, but I'm not going to do it. What was the
aside from my back, I can safely say that the reason that my interest was just wiped away, why? What was the incentive?
Yeah, exactly.
What was the incentive?
There is no incentive except it's fun, but I can get fun from just doing Midas.
Right.
There's nothing extra from Savage.
I don't think that that's fair to say, because there are so many things in this game that's like, why do it when next patch I'm going to be like, why grind lore tomes? Because next patch I can just do the next tome.
Because that's true. But hang on, but that's fucking.
Why I say why play it. That's going to be your mentality.
But Nika, that's fucking true, because if like for example, when my computer was down and I couldn't play, I wasn't finding other ways to grind tomes or get on and make sure that my tomes were capped, because I knew in 2 patch cycles that it wouldn't fucking matter. I wasn't actually motivated to try to log on and continue to try to play through that technical complication. Whereas with other games in the past, with other MMOs, I have been motivated to push through it, and I would buy the game on another system, or I'd play the game on a system that is worse, or on a laptop or something. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't access it, I'm just okay, fine, whatever, and it doesn't stress me out, and it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, I mean, again, it comes down to.
You were saying the incentive is, like if you could do things that could get you ahead for later patches. Whereas, I mean, if you did Savage, you could get the upgrade items to 240, which we're going to be getting in the next boiler.
So that you can be ready for.
On that.
So you can be ready for the next leg of Savage. It doesn't get you ready for the next leg of Dungeons. It doesn't get you ready for the next leg of the 90% of content that we're going to be doing. You can just get tomes and do that shit.
Yeah, I have two things to say.
You only ever upgrade items to be able to continue to do raiding. It's a self-contained system that it leaks a little bit out into the world, but it doesn't really fucking matter.
He's talking about being ready for the end patch. That's not gonna suddenly be invalidated at the next patch. If you're working towards the end of an expansion's item level, when the next patch hits, you're still working towards that same spot. Nothing's been invalidated, whereas with lore weapons or with Maiden stuff, those are invalidated each patch. And I'm the opposite of Aniero. The reason that I'm actually okay with logging on and grinding out lore to be ready for the next patch, even though it's going to be invalidated, is it's about how much time and how much effort you want to invest. If I make $15 at a job that's fucking shitty as hell, that's fine. I'm going to do it. $15 an hour? Fuck yeah. But for $7 an hour? No, it's not worth it.
Dude, I'll be totally honest. If I started raiding and I got raid gear, I would cancel my sub after I was done. You know what I mean? Like after I got all the gear that I felt like I wanted, or I got to a point where I felt like I was done, I would unsub. I would just stop logging on.
So how is that any different than now, where you said that there's nothing to do anyway?
Well, at least now I'm getting on each week and grinding on Tuesday for reset day and grinding my tones out. There would be literally no point to do that if I was raiding. None whatsoever. I just
grind for my second job.
I mean, Nika's still raiding here at this point. She's still got 2 more weeks before the next patch. She's only on turn 6.
Yeah, but I'm better than her, so.
Okay.
Every male in this room is better than Nika.
The truth emerges.
I'll tell you what.
Whether that's true or not isn't the point. The fact is that I don't know. I just think that
Hey Nika, will your group take me on a raid?
Only when you get a wyvern pet.
Yeah. We asked you if you wanted to join our status,
you did. That, to be fair, that's
and you
true.
Declined us.
I said no because I work those nights. But yes.
None of us, nobody else here got an invitation from Nika. And you know what? No, Juxie, you know what? Because she actually told us once, because we said this before, like, oh, you never invited us, Nika. Well, we don't need a ninja. Guess what she has in her raid now?
Is it a fucking ninja?
It's a fucking ninja.
That time we had a Dragoon, and Dragoon and Ninja.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite the 180.
She wants us to Savage, but not with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's I think that's the thing that blows my mind about specifically Nika arguing this point is that she's like, come on guys, do it, just not with me.
That's not the.
And then she's like, nobody raids.
Oh, that's not.
I can't find any raiders for my group, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to raid with me.
There's 4 raiders sitting right there in your fucking room.
Not
you wouldn't go if she asked.
Some of these arguments coming back to bite you in the ass, Nika, huh?
You wouldn't go if she asked.
And try to jump in at A6 or what the fuck ever. You're gonna suck balls. Like, if you are literally interested in raiding, like the people in the LBR link show had it right.
So now we're not good enough. Now we're not good enough.
No, you're not.
Final coil, and you're going to learn how to fucking raid, and then try the hardest shit.
How many Alex Savages have you done, Ascali?
Oh God,
so many, right?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with none.
Okay, but you asked us.
But still got the invitation.
Yeah. She likes me.
I just want to be invited. That's all.
Oh, but
so you can say no.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe if I was actually legitimately invited, I'd give it a try.
To a real raiding group that actually progresses? Man,
yeah.
That might spur my interest in raiding, but I mean...
However, part of that does have to do with the fact that I know that your work schedules are all over the place.
More excuses.
There we go.
The amount of pride...
I think, if I'm mistaken, I think most of us get together on Tuesdays.
The amount of pride and happiness that swelled within me...
Raided, what would be the point in doing tomes and doing reset days? That's pretty much my stance right now. I only do my tomes for my 3rd and 4th jobs. So if I'm on there for reset day, that's what I'm doing. I could just unsub or not log in until raid days.
I think that this identifies a problem overall, is that you've got players that engage at every level of the game, including raiding, and all of us are sitting here saying, well, we might as well just fucking unsub. All of us are looking at the next 2 weeks like, what the fuck are we going to do? This is actually a real problem. Like, disambiguated from like challenging us on rating and all of that. This is a real problem because every player at every level of this game is going, why am I still paying every month for this? And I think that is a fair fucking question. I mean, we're waiting until June 7th to get our next content update, and then maybe we'll have some stuff to get us to 3.4. But in reality, we're probably going to be sitting here for 6 weeks going, well, what the fuck do we do now?
Glamour.
Honestly, because and that's the thing is I mean, honestly, I feel like if I was working on raiding outside of right when a raid was dropped, there would be nothing to work towards. I don't have second and third jobs, Nika.
Guys.
I wouldn't even be getting lore for that shit.
Taser just point out the best thing. Time, that we have or don't have, is not a legitimate excuse for why we haven't tried raiding. But it is a legitimate excuse on why we can't raid with Nika. Huh.
No, it is, because mine are very, very set days. Realize that was
what you're saying,
me, right?
You're saying one of the reasons I didn't invite you, or why I don't invite you, is because you guys have such a busy schedule. And exactly.
Well, it's not like I was ever asked.
But we should still find time to do Savage raiding.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
That's a double standard there, Nika.
No, I'm pretty sure what Taser said was in my favor. Is that you guys,
that way.
because you have crazy work schedules. You can still figure it out if you wanted to. However,
that's an
your
assumption.
Crazy work schedules don't line up with mine.
That's an assumption on your part.
Taser Smurf says I have to log in because no one else cares about the garden.
You're not wrong.
I mean, for other raid groups, I've adjusted my work schedule so that I'm available to raid.
But then still didn't show up.
Yeah, because if I have to work, I have to work.
Well, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. People who raid hardcore or even midcore, you can't just say, "Oh, but there's a slight chance you're not going to show up 5 minutes before the raid."
If you work in fucking radio, you can't exactly go to your to your boss and say, "Hey, I can't." I got to raid instead.
What I'm saying is you have to find a group that is everyone is like that, so that way if it happens, nobody's going to be upset. But when we have a group that's 100% there every single day, we're not going to take one or two people that are just going to say, "Oh, 5 minutes before, sorry guys, can't come tonight." That fucks everybody.
Well, that sounds pretty inflexible on your part, Nika.
No.
But she's playing with 7 people who are like that.
Except for her bard.
If she has a group that functions that way, that's fine. She's saying if we're going to get in on this, I'm
just saying, like, if you're going to issue the challenge and then not extend the invite, I think that's pretty hypocritical and a little shitty. And a little shitty personally.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's a little shitty.
This game works.
That's shitty.
That's how this game works. If you don't know how to raid and you came into my raid group, we'd be fucking carrying your ass and you fucking know it. Don't even pull that bullshit right now. Get out of here.
Wow, you did trigger her.
Wow, no, it's just that's a shitty attitude to lay at my feet to go, well, you seemed pretty interested in it, and then I didn't bother to come and help you or try to, what the fuck?
Find a static group that has your scheduled times and you quit them.
Quit being shitty.
That's how.
Hold on.
Quit being shitty.
Speaking of challenge, speaking of the challenge, Nika, are you going to play Dark Soul challenge?
Gonna play Dark Souls?
I don't know, maybe.
No.
It's a challenge.
Come
it
on.
has to be a yes or no.
I mean, it doesn't jive with your play style.
What is your stipulation? Like, play it as in what? Like, try it?
Does she have to beat it?
Yeah, you have to beat it.
Okay, well, if I have to beat Dark Souls, you have to beat Savage, which I doubt is. You're saying I have to beat Dark Souls for you to try Savage once? No, that's not how this works. I'll try Dark Souls once if you try Savage once.
Well, according to you, I can't just try Savage once. I've got to find a static.
Why don't we put a minimum amount of hours invested on it then?
Well, I would say we're about to have the Savage Duty Finder. You don't have to find a static anymore. You can just jump in on the Duty Finder.
That's true.
So, I mean, you gonna try Dark Souls or what?
2 hours for 2 hours? Sound fair?
See, listen to that. Listen to that reluctance. Listen to that reluctance.
You should do 5 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours is nothing.
Yeah, you should definitely do at least 5.
2 hours is nothing. But I mean, like, look at your reluctance to sit down and play a game that you know you don't like. It's a place that,
the thing is, but see, that's not even my reluctance. My reluctance is the fact that I barely play one-player games as it is. Like, I play The Witcher and Metal Gear, and then even though MGO came out and I was so excited, I touched it once. Like, I don't play any other game but this one. So it's not really my reluctance to Dark Souls, my reluctance to find time to play a one-player game.
Again, we're down to the time issue. I like how it's a valid excuse for you, Nika, but when it comes to us, it's completely invalid.
You want to know why? Oh my God, it totally is valid. I'm saying, but if you actually had the interest, you would find the time, which proves to me that when you said you had the interest, you really didn't.
Or it was just a passing interest?
Yeah.
You know what I think the problem here is?
Jesus Christ.
The problem is here she's sexist.
I've never
I've never had
my
excuses are okay for her, and sometimes they're okay for Ascalia, okay? But for the rest of us men,
depending on his bracelet.
Exactly, depending on his bracelet. Put your finger down. Until you get tits, there's no chance.
Oh my God. No, actually, I'm only bringing this up because somebody brought it up on the stream the day that I was raiding. Somebody asked me, I thought the guy said they were going to raid. Why haven't they tried it?
Nobody said we were going to raid.
Why is it, hang on, no, why is it that if we say, hey, this is interesting, or this, it kind of makes us sort of interested in raiding, why is it that that's like a definite, like, a commitment to do raiding on your end? Like, and not just you, but the chat does this shit to us all the time, where, like, we say something offhandedly, and then you fucking, like, it's like we made a promise.
It's the equivalent of, oh, you got a Dragoon weapon drop, you got a level Dragoon now, you gotta do it.
I remember that we were very, very critical as a whole against Gordius,
Right.
and then once Midas Normal came out, we were all like, man, this is a really good idea. Square Enix is really, they really understand what we want. That sounds really interesting.
It was a step in the right direction.
You're not wrong. We said all of those things. We're not saying that we didn't say all of those things, but like, why does that imply that there has to be every level of follow through on it? Like, I mean, yeah, it did look interesting, but it didn't get me into Savage.
We didn't slice our hand open and sign it in blood.
It did. Like, here's the point: is that it didn't get me into Savage, which that is fucking Square Enix's problem. That is their problem. They don't incentivize participation in this shit well enough. It doesn't matter how good the mechanics are or how well designed the fights are. If the overwhelming incentive to go in the first place isn't there, I'm not gonna take it. I'm just not. There is no clear incentive. There never has been. This has always been the problem with raiding in 14. This is why I keep calling for different rewards or an adjustment to the reward system. The problem is intrinsic in the system. It's not that I'm not motivated enough, for Christ's sake. If I'm not motivated enough to do work for Limit Break Radio, why do I sit around and spend 8 hours a day, working on post-production or, trying to come up with discussion topics for the show? Why don't we just shut the whole thing down? Why don't we shut LBR down and just divert all of our resources to Final Encounter Cast?
Because
it's not panning out. It's not panning out this patch. Let's just pack up all our shit and go home.
Okay, we're a dead podcast anyway.
Dying.
But we did beat Final Fantasy 11.
We're dying.
Our Final Fantasy 11 record shows.
Yeah, 64 episodes.
So this is actually a fine place. Look, we're more of a success than we were. Let's pack it up and wait for FF16.
I mean, that just that logic of like, well, why do you still play the game? Because I host Limit Break Radio.
And because I have fun just collecting glamour.
Fuck's sake.
Me and Chuck's actually
glamour is your incentive to play $13 a month.
Yes, actually, like, we joke about it.
Hosting this show is a reason to pay $13 a month and is a reason to keep logging in.
That I agree with.
But it's not. But you know what?
Not everyone has a popular podcast that they have to stay connected to the game to.
Yeah, but again, we've identified nobody tunes into this show to hear us give opinions about about specific segments of fights in a current raid. We've never talked about this game in that way. So there's no compelling reason, even as a commentator, for me to get involved in raiding. And again, that's Square Enix's problem because they haven't incentivized the shit at all. It all becomes useless in 2 patches. Everything, even the lore gear. And I agree. Yeah, it sort of does feel like, well, what would be the point of lore gear? And if I didn't have this show, I might be done. I might have been done a long time ago.
Until they put in you get a free level 5 materia every time you do Void Ark, or every week or whatever. Mm-hmm. Nobody gave a shit about that either.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like ready to pack it in on this game. I believe in this game, and I like I feel like I like this game every 6 months. Every 6 months, I kind of turn the corner on this game again, and then it gets boring. Then you got to wait for the next content cycle, and then there's something relevant. Now we can do things again.
You want to know the main reason besides glamour that I log on every day? Because actually, I was asked this question a few weeks ago in stream. Someone came in and said, "What motivates you to log on and play every single day?"
Because I just want to point out that the Twitch section of FF14 is fucking barren these days. Even the big hitters are not really logging on to 14 because there's objectively shit
Nothing to do right now.
And when they do, they don't get high viewer count either.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the reason that I log on now is our fans. It's the Limit Break Radio FC. Logging in and seeing people there and doing stuff with them and making fun of Skuro.
The community that exists around both this show and that we've built in FF14, yeah, that is the tether that keeps me here.
Since we've actually gotten the free company house, Eorzea feels different to me. It actually feels like I'm logging on to friends and family and people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And well...
He's none of those things.
Again, if you'd like to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. If you want to call us
and tell Nika how ridiculous she's being,
if you want to call us and tell us that we're lazy bitches for not rating or whatever, I'd love for you to try to convince me why I should get into rating, especially now. Like right now, like why should I get into Midas Savage?
You know what?
If you can convince, I mean, maybe I'll pick it up if someone can call in and convince me why it's a good idea or why it would be something investing my time in.
Aniero, I mean, at least if you down the final Savage, I will give Limit Break Radio $1 million.
Oh, we'd probably hop on that.
Yeah, that would be something.
You just hear his mic hitting the floor, booting everything up.
Everyone's just watching as he gets up from the table and leaves, puts his flag up.
So let's go to our phone lines. We've got Q Fox of Ragnarok. Q Fox, what's going on? Welcome to Limit Break Radio. Q Fox. Hey, what's up?
Thanks God you guys brought something that I will talk about.
Sure.
The things that's about the patches. I'm a long time player of Final Fantasy series, like from the 11 and even the early 1.0. But I'm finding difficult time to play like the current version. The 3.0 become like really harder. The things that like every time I sub, I try to play like, at the beginning of the expansion, after each patch, I sub like for 3 months. And I get too excited about the new things. But the game, like after a period of time, it gets more repetitive. It's become like more boring. It's part of it because I don't have much friends in my servers that I play with. I don't raid because, as you know, what happened in the raid. I used to raid like in 2.0, but when they make the story just come out of the normal version, I totally did not even touch Savage. I tried it, but I did not go there after I see like how raiding get frustrating with people and not showing up and like group and sets get disbanded. So I have a question, like from that standpoint. Do you think like what would be like reasonable time or for how long should I subscribe for the game just to play each patch? Because each patch there is something new to play, but later on it's become like boring because you're doing the same thing.
Well, just to your point real quick, I mean, you're not wrong. We used to sit around in the 2.0 era and kind of praise SE because it felt like we'd be doing an episode, and the episode before a patch came out would be that first episode where we're like, oh my God, we need a patch. Oh, wait, it's next week. That's
right, yes.
And nowadays, that's expanded out to about a month. There's about 4 episodes where we're just like, 4 things.
Yes. Yeah. I remember one of my biggest praises to 2.0 was how in WoW you would have 5, 6, 7 weeks where it felt like, when the fuck are we going to get more content?
You mean months?
Well, it was a long ass time. I mean, even their expansions, you'd go like 2 years from the end of a patch till you got something. And I remember praising FF14 because it's like I'm always doing stuff right up until the next patch comes out, and it's like I've finished it just in time to get caught up. And even with Relic, I got a little bit behind.
I think, you know what, I think that has to do with content spacing. I think that the content that they gave us in 2.0 was spaced way better than the content has been in 3.0.
Yeah.
The content in 3.0, you can get through it way quicker. And I mean, you know, we've praised them for allowing us additional options to be able to grind for things like anima items and stuff like that. And I feel like some of those decisions cut down on the overall time that we're logging in and spending grinding. And when you cut down on that, then that adds more, more downtime, more dead time in between patches where players feel like there is nothing to do. And so QFox, I would say that there's probably like a good 8 weeks of content and maybe 12 weeks of content. That's generous.
I'd say it's about 8 weeks. We got the last patch in March, and it was about the beginning of May where we were finishing up with it.
Yeah, I'd say about 8 weeks is what it would take most people to get through the stuff to the point where they're just like, well, now what? I mean, I don't blame you. And one of the things that always did, it annoyed me about WoW, kind of just on a conceptual level, is that you would have players that, they would only resub for an expansion and they'd sub for like 3 months and then they'd fuck off.
It was like a normal thing.
Yeah.
That's what they expected them to do.
Well, and I don't think I ever wanted that. I never wanted that for this game. You know what I mean? Like, specifically for FF14, that was the one aspect of WoW that I didn't like. That also, and you could like buy a pre-leveled character that I thought was fucking retarded.
Well, everyone loved that idea.
But like, that's the sort of stuff that makes me really worry about the longevity of this game when you have people like QFox calling up and going, well, like, how long do you guys think I could sub before I unsub? And then, you're going to be waiting 2 months at that point for the next content patch, and that's $25 that you just saved.
Marcus brings up a good point. He says they keep giving us these big new things every patch in 3.1, and few of them have been interesting enough to keep people's attention or that they follow up with. When you look back at 2.0, they had a formula that they followed that was tried and true and interesting that they always delivered on. And then with 3.0, what? We got Diadem, we got Lords of Verminion, we got fucking Sea Stone Sky. It's like they try to come up with something new every time. It's like, oh my God, they're pulling a fucking Nintendo. Mm-hmm. They're trying to innovate just for innovation's sake to do the next big thing, and as a result, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder if they, instead of having to create a system from the ground up, if they were just expanding on old systems, would they be able to deliver more content?
See, that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like they've set the foundation both with Deep Dungeon, Aquapolis, and with Diadem. All 3 systems are easily expandable. They say, at least for 2 of them, that they have the intention on expanding them at some point. And I feel like that would deliver better content.
And here's the other problem, too, is that they're actually cutting stuff out of the tried and true content strategy, aka we're down to 2 dungeons now.
Right.
We feel like the actual story and fights from raids or from the MSQ is suffering as a result. Like we're starting to see a lack of quality, and the payoff is nothing. Yeah. Because what it's being cut for isn't impressing us either.
Right. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Again, if you would like, thank you for the call, QFox. If you would like to call Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. We did get a couple of important announcements towards the end, stuff about 7-Eleven, I don't know, whatever. But
did they say they're going to bring that to America? Or
No, that's just JP.
it was happening or something?
I mean, they keep saying that eventually, but I just think they're going to throw it in the cash shop. As soon as I think the promotion will have to end in Japan first before they make it available in the cash shop.
Really quick aside note, Kookie, I know that you already do a hell of a lot for the show, but if you could be a little bit more on top of your game in banning Skuro, I would appreciate that.
So we're going to see what I think this is like one of the first or one of the few Final Fantasy XIV, like specific, like not connected to an external holiday event.
Oh, in-game holiday thing?
Yeah. We're going to see the Make It Rain campaign from the Gold Saucer, which I think it's pretty cool. It's going to start on May the 27th. There's going to be... It's sort of like a seasonal event. They were saying that there's not a ton of seasonal events that you can do in the summer, and that they wanted to start one for FF14 specifically, which I think that's kind of cool.
Well, they could have had the 4th of July in there.
Well, they already did. I thought they did the summer festival stuff.
Yeah, I think they do. They do. Do.
They do the summer fest where you get the yukata.
Right. I mean, that's been something all the way back to the 11 era. This sounds like they wanted something specifically for the 14 universe.
Okay, well, you know what? My birthday was last week.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything for that.
Neither did we, but that's okay.
In the summer, they should do something for mine.
Susan Calloway did release a song for my birthday, guys. That's canon.
I'm so kind of a favorite around here.
FF14 will be at the role-playing convention in Cologne, Germany this weekend. That's
role-playing convention? What does that consist of?
I have no idea.
Is that Cologne, Germany, though? Go check it out, Nika. Let us know.
Oh, please
is it
no.
LARPing or is it like RPG game convention? What does that mean?
I would guess it's RPG. Or
I'm going to guess that it's probably video games and tabletops.
Yes.
Lightning bolt.
LARPing.
Lightning bolt.
There may be maybe a lightning.
I mean, are they going to like announce something at this place? Like, why are they even telling us they're going to be there?
No idea.
I cast magic missile in the darkness.
What is this? The FF14 channel in Japan? What is this?
Like a TV show?
I have no idea.
Who the fuck made this outline?
God damn it, Kookie.
Kookie.
I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
All right, you know what, Skuro? I'm actually going to give you that one because that's funny. He goes, wasn't it Kallo's birthday as a character last week? Stop trying to take people's spotlight, Juxta. I was watching Sophie in her chat the following day, and she's like, oh, by the way, everyone, it's Kallo's character's birthday. Everybody wish Kallo a happy birthday.
Lol.
One thing about the FF14 channel, like when we get an announcement that it's going to be in Japan only, like does anything turn off your attention less? You're like, I don't care.
Okay, it says
I just become very relieved. I'm like, oh, thank God Square Enix isn't trying to officially compete with us. That's good.
The 14 channel in Japan will be on the 29th of May on the site in the screenshot. That's
the translation?
That's the unofficial translation.
Wow. The screenshot.
Yay!
Oh, okay. So
all right, Kookie,
great.
You're fine.
I guess, yeah, you did your best.
Yeah, you tried.
For this time.
So there's going to be a patch 3.3 notes reading. That happens in Japanese.
They are cribbing on patch.
Yes,
Damn it!
They're cribbing on our shit. We'll have our own version of that, I'm sure.
It'll be better.
But if hang on, though, I think that's kind of significant, though. If they plan on reading the notes on June 6th, then that means that we're not going to get notes until June 6th.
You think?
Well, considering the updates on June 7th.
Right. But we usually get some kind of preliminary notes. Why wouldn't they read...
But these are probably the official notes after the server goes down.
Why wouldn't they read the preliminary ones? I mean, why only read the full ones? Because
the preliminary ones always have typos.
Well, that is true. But most people get the bulk of the information from the prelims. So, I don't know. It's just a weird decision. So there's going to be a free trial up to level 35 for patch 3.3.
I like that a lot more than the just you have 4 days after your first login.
I agree. It does make me a little bit worried, though. I mean, it's a good thing to get people in, and that's what MMOs need to do, but it just seems like kind of early within the game's lifetime to be going there. Although I guess it would be one step worse if they were giving away just straight up free trial discs.
Oof.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting way to do it. I don't know.
You know what would be cool is if they took iconic things from FF11 and gave us more of those. Like, I would really like to put up a little mini statue of the Wyvern from FF11 right there in the center of our free company, so it's the first thing that everybody sees when they walk in, and they know that is something you will never have fighting by your side for as long as you play this fucking game. What do you think, Escalia?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah.
Why? Why do you? I was having a good day and a good show. Why do you have to say that?
I actually we forgot to ask you like what you felt about the
Papa. Could you show him what I drew on your notepad, please?
That is Square Enix right there. Thank you.
Square Enix bukakiing you.
That is Square Enix jizzing on my face every time they do some bullshit like this.
So yeah, you're gonna finally get your Wyvern.
Oh, yeah, I'm finally getting my Wyvern. I'm sure it's gonna be super great, and we're all gonna be really happy about it, right?
Oh, well, I don't know. Can it fight with you? Does it attack things?
Now apparently,
can you use breath moves?
I fucking hate you. No,
healing breath.
You can't fucking do anything with it.
No, hold on, because they're adding a minion too, right? Maybe there will be a command. You know how, like, with things like the Opu and the Red Panda, if you beckon it, it climbs up on your shoulder? Maybe you can do certain emotes and it'll breathe, but it's just cosmetic.
Well, don't. I'm sorry. Wait. Don't minions despawn if you go into active battle?
No.
I thought they did.
Actually, the Tombow will fight alongside you and do 1 point of damage.
Shows.
I didn't know that.
I actually didn't know that.
So that actually does more than the actual Wyvern will do. Now, hold on. If you macro, like, let's say it can do these useless breath animations. If you macro it into your moves, it'll look like it's fighting alongside you.
Kidding, obviously.
But it's not.
It won't look like that.
But
at
it's
all.
not.
I fucking hate all of you. You know that?
Yes.
Just
What? No.
You're right. I don't hate Nika.
No, they're not doing this to you. I'm doing this to you. This is me.
I hate Square Enix. They can go to
This
hell.
is me. You were having a good day. Nobody brought this up.
You know,
I'm doing this to you.
I have accepted that SE will never have a real pet job in this game. I get it. I get it. So why do they need to do this? Why can't you just let it die?
Because they hate you.
Let it go.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe they hate me.
You're
like, you know what? Fuck Callie. I mean, we hate Limit Break Radio, but seriously, fuck Callie.
So FF14 is going to be at E3. There's going to be a live letter from E3. They're going to be talking about the Deep Dungeon and answer questions.
You know, when's E3? June 14th to the 16th.
June 14th through the 16th.
Whoops Wolf brings up a good point. I don't know why you're so upset. I mean, they're finally giving you a pet. It's a non-combat pet, but it's a pet. And it's just as useful as the actual Wyvern was in 11.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I hate that you fucking know where to twist the knife. I really fucking hate it.
There is the FF14 official magazine is going to be on sale Tuesday. That's June 21st. Yes. And then there's something. This is interesting. Yoshida Uncensored. That sounds weird. That
XXX.
Yes, exactly. Like they announced this during Live Letter XXX, which is interesting. But anyway, why FF14 was able to be reborn. Serialized articles. There's going to be an interview with Yoshida in the Weekly Famitsu magazine, and will be made on paperback. It's going to be on sale June 22nd. I think that's going to be that's going to be an interesting.
I mean, I wonder why 14 was able to be reborn. Like, how salty or how hardcore is he going to be at attacking
Tanaka?
Yeah.
I feel like there is going to be some Tanaka shit talking there.
That would be cool.
I really do think that this is an interesting story. I think that this never happens. An MMO getting a second chance in the marketplace never happens. It has never happened before that an MMO has launched, done poorly, relaunched, and been able to save its ass. And I do think that, that's a narrative that I would love to know more about. He had a lot of challenges that he was up against walking into the job. And he had a lot of, if it were you, I don't even know. I don't even know what, if I was in that position, I don't know what I would do. You know what I mean? Like, here's this entire game that you didn't design, this world that you didn't make, all of this lore that you weren't in charge of that has been given to you, and you're like, they're like, make this work.
Make it great again.
Making AOZ
there was
great
a
again.
quote really early on. In fact, I think it was in the article the interview that Playboy did with him, where they asked him something along the lines of like, what was your greatest challenge? And he just flat out said the entire fucking thing was a challenge because nothing was done right. Like it was like bad shots fired.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to point out that some Escaduals are quote unquote coming to your defense as the Escalia Defense Force, but much like the Wyverns, they are entirely aesthetic.
And then the last announcement, of course, because we did get an update to the FanFest site, is that FanFest tickets are going to be going on sale next month. No specific date has been announced for that.
Because no one really cares about that or something. Like, why would we need a specific date for the tickets
just gonna announce it, like, they're just going to announce it randomly so that way it's more fair to everyone. They're just going to say, okay, they're on sale now.
And go.
And whoever can do it, can do it.
They did say that the number of tickets is going to be significantly increased from the following FanFest. So,
previous.
Yes, it does seem like it's going to be a bigger event. Although, if you're looking to get tickets, you're really going to want to be up and up on when they're going live. So, we'll, of course, be paying attention to that ourselves because Square Enix isn't going to just give us tickets.
And buying multiple tickets to sell for 3 times the price on eBay.
So before
they make you tie your character name to these. So.
Yeah. Before we wrap up the show here, why don't we read one email? Because that's really kind of all we have time for. Kallo, you want to do the honors?
Is there a particular one? Or?
Yeah, just the one at the top.
Okay. Hey, LBR crew, I've been playing since the days of FF11 and was in on FF14 1.0. I recently found LBR and have been enjoying listening through the archives as I grind my work days and would like to say, keep up the entertainment. I have a story for another day when I realized I wasn't a casual. No!
That's your penis!
And have been working hard recently to remedy my poor gaming habits. Actually, people who call themselves a casual wear that with pride for some reason.
I don't know.
Because they're amazing people.
I don't get it.
Well, I think this guy is saying he is a casual, whereas people who call themselves a casual, they're actually fans of Escalia.
I was going somewhere with that. All right, you're not an Escadual, but I do believe you have Escaliosis.
That was good.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
I like that one.
My major concern is Yosheep's lack of vision. When they announced the new Horde update, they got the WoW's panties in a wad, but missed out on a major opportunity. This idea in true LBR spirit of glamour is the true endgame, and Aniero should really back this because it would force the devs to work on epic beards.
Yeah.
I think dwarves should have been announced as a new race, just to add a nice little dick punch to the ribbing SE gave the WoW community. Also, before people panic, Final Fantasy had dwarves before Warcraft was even a thing. Lolly-ho, bitches. Alexandra Chase of the Goblin Server.
Yeah, he makes a good point. You know, they did have goblins in, what was that, 4?
Dwarves in one.
Dwarves, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't. So, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I think that if we saw another race added, I don't think we'd see something as straight ahead as dwarves. I think that we would see, much like how the Ora was inspired by...
I'm pretty sure the Lalafell and Taratar are this game's versions of dwarves.
No,
they're halflings.
They're the gnomes or the halflings. Yeah. Dwarves are very different. Yeah.
But the thing is that these Japanese MMOs though are very much about the very aesthetically pleasing type of humanoid characters. I can't ever see them going this super
except
ugly.
why
the fuck are Femros in it?
Femros are beautiful. Get out.
Well, I think that I could see them going in an anthropomorphic direction, and I think that that's a bit more likely given Final Fantasy's history and especially their recent development. I mean, you look at
anthropomorphic from Final Fantasy though is literally like a girl with a tail and ears. Like, how far are we really gonna get in that?
Bunny girl.
What about the Banga?
Viranga.
But I feel like in an MMO we won't ever get that.
I think we might, and I think that it's a little bit more possible if Square Enix's intention is to shake it up. To shake up the lore of the world and want, a variety of character models, then that's one way that they could do it. They have things like the Almalja, which I feel like is like the equivalent in this game, and we'll never get to play that. They just become beastmen. We don't.
get them as characters.
Well, but at the same time, though, if you look at from a development perspective, something like the Ora, they had to do way less armor modeling for that than they would if you changed the proportions of of a new race that you're adding. So that's, I think, another concern that you would have with the dwarves, because dwarves are obviously much more sturdy. They're wider.
Just take the Lalafell and make it wider.
Yeah, fat Lalafells.
Well, but again,
scale them by like 150%.
That would there's a lot of armor reworking. That's a lot of modeling that you would have to do. I'm gonna bet that we're probably not gonna see another race edition to FF14.
I would agree with that.
Probably not.
I that's what I'm gonna guess. I think that the Ora was a nice little like, oh hey, that's a surprise. But I doubt that we'll see anything like that again. And just because of the amount of work involved. But I don't know. Thank you so much for that email, Alexandra Chase. If you'd like to email Limit Break Radio, you can do that, hosts@limitbreakradio.com. We'd love to hear your emails and get all of your opinions about 3.3. Are you excited, or are you like the rest of us and a bit, got a bit of malaise going on? We want to hear from you. Hosts@limitbreakradio.com. Hit us up on Twitter @limitbreakradio and facebook.com/limitbreakradio. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of Limit Break Radio. I want to thank you guys for tuning in live here at twitch.tv/limitbreakradio. I want to thank you for your calls. Even though you guys were trying to call us out on not reading a fucking thing that happened 6 hours ago, that's fine. No hard feelings.
Yeah. You know what? We'll fucking care about what you guys think when they give Ascali an actual pet. Never!
So again, thank you guys for hanging out here at twitch.tv/limitbreakradio. If you like the show, hit the follow button. Join us every Sunday when we do the show here live at twitch.tv/limitbreakradio. And also, you might like our other talk show. It's called Final Encountercast, and it's a show all about video games. It's coming up next over at twitch.tv/finalencountercast at 5 p.m. Eastern. We hope that you'll join us for that. You can find a full archive of our show over at limitbreakradio.com and a full archive of wow. I was almost on a really good fucking roll. You can find a full archive of Final Encountercast episodes over at finalencountercast.com. I want to thank my crew, of course, Kooky Persona and Skro for their hard work, as well as Papa Woody hanging out in the background here, as well as Nika Kyanian, Kallo Landis, Ascalia Rayamasa, and Juxtaposition. I'm Aniero. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. Today's episode was produced by Juxtaposition, Aniero Grigori, Kooky Persona, and The Skuro. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Captain Failboat, Zurian Urexin, Azura Giacho, Bianca Forwind, Kalina Ashsaber, Thor Carson, My Waifu, Satori Komeji, Darbykins, Sakura-chan, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.